Unlocking your inner power. Have you ever felt like there's this hidden treasure chest of energy just waiting to spring out from inside you? What if I told you that the keys to releasing that secret potential have been hidden away all this time? This book is your golden ticket to unraveling those mysteries and tapping into a well of potential you probably didn't even know existed. Imagine this: waking up each morning with a burst of purpose, armed with knowledge that pushes you forward and leads you to achievements you once thought were only for the lucky ones. This isn't just a dream, it's a reality that's ready for you to grab. Our adventure kicks off with something I like to call secret knowledge. These are powerful methods and insights that have often been kept under wraps by folks who worried about what would happen if everyone had access to them. For years, these gems of wisdom were saved for just a handful of people who dared to break the mold. But now, you've got the key, a guide that's going to help you unlock these amazing strategies. This book is all about shining a light on those secrets, empowering you to take control of your own story and transform your life in ways you might have thought were way out of reach. Let me tell you a bit about my journey. There was a time when I felt completely lost, like a ship adrift at sea. My career was stuck in neutral, and each day blurred into the next, as exciting as a plain slice of bread. The usual paths to success were leading me absolutely nowhere, promising only baby steps forward. In that stagnant place, I stumbled upon a treasure chest of overlooked info, hidden texts, ancient teachings, and quirky strategies. With a mix of curiosity and a need for change driving me, I dived right in, soaking up knowledge that flipped my world upside down. After what felt like an eternity of hard work, I finally started putting what I'd learned into practice, and boy did things start to change. Not only did my career take off, but I also found a deep, soul-filling happiness in my daily life. With a bag full of strategies, I began sharing my insights with others, witnessing some truly incredible transformations right in front of my eyes. It doesn't matter where you're coming from or what your background is. These techniques can work wonders for anyone who's brave enough to embrace them. Yes, you can totally join this journey. So, what can you expect to find in this book? Get ready to shake up everything you thought you knew about success. We're about to jump headfirst into some next-level goal-setting strategies, tackle some mind-boggling psychological hacks, and check out real-life ways to use knowledge often reserved for the elite. Each part is going to nudge you to think outside the box and start viewing challenges as exciting chances just waiting to be grabbed. So, let's jump in. Charting new adventures in the mind. Think of this book as your trusty guide, leading you through the thrilling jungle of your own head. As you wander along, you might come across some ideas that feel a bit off the wall, maybe even completely bonkers. But hey, that's where all the fun begins, right? Real growth usually hangs out just outside our comfy little bubbles. The true magic of this adventure is all about smashing through those mental barriers that hold you back. Seriously, it's an eye-opener. You'll start spotting opportunities that you never even knew were possible. Now, as you kick off this exciting journey, keep your heart and mind wide open. The ideas and practices you bump into might make you rethink everything you thought you knew. And that's actually great. Sure, it's totally normal to feel a bit skeptical. It's like playing detective with your own beliefs. Just remember, don't let that skepticism trap you. Turn it into a tool to dig deeper instead. The more you poke around at your ideas, the more great insights you'll find. So here's the lowdown. It's time to make a little promise. A promise to yourself about your growth and about unlocking every tiny bit of your potential. This book is stuffed with tools and treasures, but it's entirely up to you to decide to put them to work. Are you ready to leap into an adventure that could completely flip your ideas about what's possible? If you are, then consider this your call to action. Dive in head first and get set to unleash the incredible power of your own mind. Together, we'll peel back the layers of mystery that have been holding you back and carve a path towards a future overflowing with opportunities. Every page you turn brings you closer to revealing the extraordinary abilities that are just waiting for you inside. So, let's kick this off. Discovering hidden gems of knowledge. Let's plunge into the treasure trove of secret knowledge. This part throws open the doors to a fascinating world packed with game-changing techniques that will really shake up how we usually think. We're going to dive into why these hidden gems often stay hidden, checking out the different shapes they take, and the reasons they're kept just out of reach. Whether it's spiritual practices, alternative therapies, or those quirky scientific ideas that haven't really caught on yet, there's a treasure trove of knowledge waiting for us. These unconventional methods, often dismissed by the so-called experts, hold secrets that are just bursting with insights for those brave enough to look beyond the everyday stuff. In this part, you'll stumble upon various paths that stray from the usual, each one a vital piece of the puzzle in your journey of personal growth and self-discovery. So, let's set off on this adventure together. Uncovering hidden insights. In this section, we're going to sneak a peek behind the scenes and take a closer look at the things that some big players, like governments, religious groups, and major corporations, might prefer to keep under wraps. It's like a game of hide and seek, where the rules are a bit dodgy. These outfits sometimes choose to overlook or even dismiss various methods that could actually help us, all because of social, political, or economic reasons. Why would they do that, you wonder? Well, we'll unravel the reasons behind this cover-up. Think of it as solving a mystery filled with unexpected twists and turns. But hang on, there's more. This part isn't just about pointing fingers. It's also a gentle nudge for you to unleash that curiosity of yours. It's time to shake off those old beliefs and start questioning what we take for granted. So, pop on your explorer's hat as we set off to uncover some lesser-known techniques that can sprinkle a little magic into your everyday life. Who knows? You might stumble upon hidden treasures that could change how you think and live, guiding you on new paths toward enlightenment. Now, have you ever heard of banned knowledge? Picture this as a stash of information and insights that are kept under lock and key, hidden away from the average person. It's knowledge that often goes against the grain, giving a good shake to the conventional wisdom we usually hold on to. If you're keen to grow and become more self-aware, getting a grasp on this idea is key. It helps shine a light on the walls that have been built up, blocking our way to personal enlightenment and success. Banned knowledge can come in all sorts of shapes and sizes. Think about spiritual practices, quirky psychological tricks, alternative therapies, or even those wild scientific ideas that seem a bit bonkers. For example, certain meditation techniques or energy healing practices might not get much love from mainstream medicine. But for those adventurous folks who are willing to wander off the beaten path, these methods could be loaded with valuable insights. They might include detailed rituals, specific mental exercises, or even quirky diets aimed at boosting your physical and mental well-being. So, why do these nuggets of wisdom often get ignored? The reasons can be as tangled as a bowl of spaghetti. Big institutions might push these unconventional methods aside to cling to their power or protect their interests. Take herbal remedies, for instance. They often take a back seat to pharmaceutical solutions, which sometimes seem more about lining the pockets of the medical industry than helping us out. And in schools, we might spot that holistic learning, approaches that spark creativity and inspire critical thought, can get drowned out by those boring memorization techniques that train us to fit in instead of stand out. If you're up for diving into the realm of banned knowledge, keep that curious spark alive. Question everything, and don't shy away from exploring the unknown. After all, the hidden gems you find might just lead you to a deeper understanding of yourself and everything around you. Unlocking hidden potentials. Picture diving into a treasure chest filled with ideas, where each twinkling gem represents a different viewpoint on life. That's the feeling of exploring diverse sources of information. It's like embarking on a treasure hunt, gathering bits and bobs from books, articles, and courses. Finding what really speaks to your own journey and dreams can bring about some fantastic changes, both inside and out. To kick off your adventure, think about areas in your life that feel a bit constricted, like a pair of shoes that are on the tight side. Maybe it's your career, relationships, or personal goals. Now set out to discover fresh ways of looking at things. Hunt down books or reputable courses that offer new angles. Connect with groups or communities that explore unconventional methods. It's like adding a splash of spice to your cooking, experimenting to find out what flavors make your dish come alive. When you're trying out new routines, don't forget to notice how they make you feel. Do you leap out of bed feeling all refreshed after trying a new morning ritual? Does meditating help clear your head like a gentle summer breeze? The key is to welcome fresh ideas while still holding on to some of the old ones. You don't need to ditch what you already know. Just broaden your toolkit and pick what suits you best. Whether it's diving deeper into your thoughts through meditation, checking out alternative medicine for better health, or thinking a bit differently to spark new ideas, embracing these cool practices can really enhance your everyday life. Now, let's take a little stroll down memory lane. History is packed with tales of wisdom that was kept in the shadows, just itching to come out and make a splash. Getting a grip on how this evolved over time helps us recognize the impact these hidden gems of knowledge can have on our personal journeys. Through stories from the past, philosophical roots, and real-life examples, we uncover some eye-opening insights. Take Galileo Galilei, for example. This chap faced loads of backlash from the Catholic Church just for daring to suggest that the Earth was spinning around the sun. Can you imagine? His ideas were a real shake-up to what everyone believed at the time, and while he eventually got cleared, his battles show how those in charge can try to hush up groundbreaking ideas. Then there's Anaxagoras, that bold ancient Greek thinker who got into a bit of trouble for saying that the sun was just a burning rock, not a deity. His trailblazing thoughts didn't sit well with the religious norms of his day, and that landed him in exile. Now that's some serious bravery. Even in the Renaissance, minds were often held back. Mathematicians like Torricelli and Cavalieri were making waves studying infinitesimals, laying the foundations for calculus. But they didn't have it easy, facing pushback from the old-school scholars. They navigated through a dense fog, only to encounter resistance at every turn. From these stories, we figure out that sometimes the most game-changing ideas, the ones that have the power to flip things upside down, are the ones lurking just out of sight. By looking at things from different angles and questioning what's accepted, we give ourselves a shot at revealing some hidden treasures in our own lives. The magic of hidden knowledge. Sometimes venturing into new territory can feel like trying to swim against a wild river. Take environmental science, for instance. It sure had its bumps, especially during George W. Bush's time in office, when all the chatter about climate change was often ignored to fit certain political agendas. This not only made people lose faith in science, but also caused delays in making vital changes we really needed to tackle environmental problems. It's like hiding a treasure map and then being all puzzled when no one finds the treasure. Now, if we take a little wander back through history, we see that battling against the suppression of knowledge isn't a new thing. It's been happening for ages, ever since people started thinking about big ideas. Think about those Enlightenment philosophers like Immanuel Kant, who were all about using reason and thinking for yourself. He had a catchy line, "Dare to know," which was his way of telling folks to question everything and go after real understanding. Imagine him wagging his finger at the rigid authorities of his time, nudging everyone to look beyond just accepting things at face value. Fast forward a bit, and we bump into Friedrich Nietzsche, an existentialist philosopher who really shook things up by challenging societal norms and suggesting that we can create our own values. His ideas lit up the scene like a fireworks show in a dull, gray world. The whole idea of will to power was about breaking free from constraints and living life on your own terms, which must have made a few people raise their eyebrows back then. These philosophical roots remind us that standing up against the norm requires some bravery, but the rewards can be huge. People who embrace these daring ideas often find they can better tackle and make use of the valuable knowledge that's been hiding out there. And speaking of transformative journeys, let's explore some personal stories that highlight the magic of uncovering hidden insights. Take John Harrison, an 18th century clockmaker who cracked the mystery of figuring out longitude at sea. Can you picture the disbelief he faced? His groundbreaking marine chronometer didn't get much love from the scientific community at first. But guess what? His relentless drive changed the way we navigated, completely transforming maritime travel and trade. In the world of health and wellness, the stories of those diving into alternative medicine are just as uplifting. Techniques like acupuncture, which were once brushed aside by conventional medicine, are now recognized for their amazing healing abilities. People who once felt totally adrift have found a sense of relief and renewed health through practices that were kind of hiding away, just waiting for someone to notice them. So let's keep in mind that sometimes the best insights are the ones that take a bit of digging to discover, and they can totally turn lives around in amazing ways. Treasures of knowledge. When we think about health and well-being, we often stick to the usual go-tos, right? But here's a fun twist. Lots of people who try out unconventional methods are often blown away by the positive changes in their health and happiness. It's like stumbling upon a secret garden in your backyard that you didn't even know was there. Take a moment to consider the revival of ancient wisdom, especially from indigenous cultures that faced being pushed aside by colonial forces. These timeless practices are being rediscovered and mixed into modern sustainability and conservation efforts. It's like flipping through an old family photo album and finding those amazing snaps that spark memories of stories you thought were forgotten. The tales of people and communities who embrace these ancestral ways show just how precious it is to treasure and nurture that hidden knowledge. Now, let's dive into the interesting differences between traditional ways and these tucked-away techniques. Traditional methods are like the dependable pals in our lives, steady, predictable, and supported by big institutions. But let's be real, sometimes they can feel a little like trying to cram a square peg into a round hole. They can be slow to adapt, often holding on to the past while being a bit shy about embracing new ideas. On the other hand, those nifty hidden techniques, often popping up in places outside the usual spots, bring a wave of creativity and adaptability. They're like MacGyver-style solutions, appearing to tackle problems that the traditional route just can't seem to sort out. For instance, think about herbal remedies that have been passed down through generations, offering relief where those well-known pharmaceutical drugs have let us down. They provide a lovely mix of traditional wisdom and modern health, working hand in hand with today's medicine rather than butting heads with it. And hey, we can't overlook our friends in the business world. While the usual business playbook emphasizes solid planning and careful risk management, loads of successful entrepreneurs credit their wins to thinking differently. Take the lean startup method or the agile development approach. They're like the trendsetters who aren't afraid to shake things up. These adaptable methods let businesses change course quickly, leading to fresh ideas and a leg up on the competition. What's really interesting is that while traditional techniques might get all the praise from the mainstream crowd, those under-the-radar methods often shine in niche areas that really need tailored solutions. By blending the best bits of both, we can tackle challenges in a way that's more balanced and effective. In this part, we're cracking open the door to a treasure trove of overlooked knowledge and exploring why it often stays hidden. From spiritual practices to alternative therapies, we've taken a peek into the many sides of these hidden gems. And as we dig deeper, we can see how social, political, and economic factors influence what often remains out of the spotlight. Next up is mind over matter. When it comes to thriving in life, getting a handle on your mind is like discovering the secret ingredient that makes everything better. Picture your brain as a powerful engine. Keeping it well-oiled can lead you to amazing success and help you connect with your true self. So let's jump into this exciting adventure. Here's the scoop. When we chat about cognitive control, we're really highlighting how our thoughts shape our experiences. Think of your mind as a garden. It needs some love and care to bloom. It all starts with spotting those sneaky cognitive biases, the little gremlins that twist our decisions and beliefs. By noticing them, you can take charge and guide your thoughts in a more fruitful direction. Now let's sprinkle in some mindfulness, just like adding a dash of seasoning to elevate a dish. Techniques like meditation can really help you hone in on your focus. Imagine this. It's a peaceful morning, you're sipping your coffee, and the sun is just starting to rise. That lovely moment of clarity can do wonders for your concentration, helping you enjoy the present rather than rushing into tomorrow. As we venture further, we'll discover the magic of positive thinking. Flipping those negative thoughts around is like turning a frown upside down. Instead of saying, "I can't do this," why not try, "I'm learning and getting stronger"? Sprinkling affirmations into your daily routine is like magic, helping you build that tough mindset we all want. Picture this. You're telling yourself, "I am capable," kind of like giving yourself a shiny medal for each little win you have throughout the day. But wait, there's more. Think about this feedback loop. It's like a little dance happening between your thoughts, actions, and feelings. When you set goals, it's a bit like planting seeds in your garden. With a bit of TLC, they'll grow into something beautiful. By holding yourself accountable, every little step you take turns into a huge leap towards getting better and better. In this part, I'll share some straightforward tricks to boost that mental muscle of yours. It's all about finding a good balance between what's going on in your head, how you feel, and what you do. When you nail this, you're not just coasting, you're zooming towards success that genuinely feels amazing. So let's roll up our sleeves and dive into the incredible journey of understanding your mind and welcoming a brighter future. Now let's dive into the quirks of our brains. Cognitive biases are like pesky gremlins messing with our judgment. They're just those little hiccups in our thinking that can throw our decision-making completely off balance. Take the endowment effect. Ever noticed how much you value your old trainers compared to a shiny new pair? It's as if your beloved old shoes are wrapped up in a warm blanket of nostalgia. Spotting these oddities in our thinking can really change how we connect with others, whether it's at work or in our personal lives. Then there's the sneaky anchoring bias. Imagine you find out that a new smartphone costs $1,000. Suddenly, when you see the same phone on sale for $800, you might feel like you're getting a bargain, even if that price is still wild. Being aware of these biases helps you tweak your thinking. It's like putting on a fresh set of glasses, letting you see the bigger picture much more clearly. Now, let's chat about sharpening your focus. It's like trying to catch a butterfly in a garden. Easy when it's calm, but tricky with distractions buzzing around. Mindfulness and meditation serve as those training wheels for your brain, helping you stay present without getting caught up in all that mental noise. Studies have shown that getting into mindfulness can really help squash those annoying cognitive biases and make your decision-making skills shine. You could try something super easy, like just zeroing in on your breath or doing a body scan, where you feel each part of you cozy up like you're getting wrapped in a warm blanket. Now, creating a focused space is a bit like tidying up your room before throwing a party. Clear away those distractions, sort out your tasks, and set some clear goals. Think of a tidy workspace as a runway where your ideas can take off. And don't forget to pencil in some breaks. Even the busiest bee needs to stop and recharge, right? Next up is the fascinating world of thoughts. Our thoughts can be a real emotional roller coaster, but with a little shift in how we see things, we can turn negativity upside down. Reframing is a nifty trick. It's like swapping a gloomy pair of sunglasses for bright ones when facing challenges. Instead of looking at a bump in the road as a total disaster, how about seeing it as a stepping stone on your journey? A little pep talk goes a long way too. Try telling yourself, "I can handle this," instead of, "I can't do this." It's like giving your brain a cheeky high five. Affirmations are fantastic as well. Make them personal, bright, and specific. Imagine standing in front of a mirror and saying the things you genuinely want to believe about yourself. Repeating these techniques regularly creates a groove in your brain for positive thoughts to flow, turning it into a habit, kind of like getting a tune stuck in your head, but a happy, feel-good one. Let's not overlook the hustle and bustle between our thoughts and actions. It's a bit of a cycle, like a hamster racing around on a wheel full of joy. What we think affects what we do, and our actions loop back around to shape our thoughts again. Creating positive feedback loops can fire up that motivation to drive us forward. Picture this. You set a small goal, like tackling one drawer, and when you smash that goal, you feel like a champ ready to take on the next challenge. Accountability is like having a buddy along for your adventure. Sharing your goals and progress with someone can seriously keep you on the right path. So grab a mate, cheer each other on, and see just how much more you can achieve together. Let's chat about how to keep our emotional balance while juggling life's twists and turns. It's all about tuning into ourselves, keeping track of our progress, and being open to feedback from those who care about us. Just like a football team counts on their coach or teammates for some valuable tips, we can really benefit from hanging out with mentors or friends who light a fire under us. They can help illuminate our paths, giving us a boost of encouragement and fresh ideas that can spur our growth. First things first, let's get a grip on our feelings. Those pesky triggers that kick off intense emotions can be a bit sneaky. Imagine a smoke alarm blaring every time someone says something critical. That's kind of how your emotions can act if you don't figure out what's setting them off. By identifying these triggers, you're gearing yourself up to respond thoughtfully, instead of just reacting when life throws a curveball your way. Let's kick things off with a bit of self-reflection. Try keeping a journal where you can jot down the moments when your feelings go a bit haywire. Over time, you'll start to see patterns that point out your emotional hotspots. This is where the idea of emotional granularity comes into play. Think of it like a painter blending colors to find the perfect hue. Instead of just saying you're angry or down, dig a little deeper. Are you feeling frustrated, annoyed, or maybe even let down? Once you've got a handle on what makes your feelings tick, it's time to set up a game plan. For instance, if you feel a sting when someone critiques your work, why not give some deep breathing a try? Picture yourself blowing up a massive balloon. Taking slow, deep breaths can help deflate that tension. You could also repeat little affirmations to remind yourself how awesome you are. Or hey, how about taking a quick break from whatever's bugging you? Just like stepping out from a bustling market for some fresh air, taking a breather helps you sift through your feelings and see things more clearly. Experts like Cook Campbell say this timeout is key. It's the difference between springing back like a startled cat or calmly responding. Now, let's get comfy with the term emotional resilience. Think of resilience as your mental bungee cord. It helps you bounce back from life's challenges without snapping. One way to boost this strength is by changing how you view tough situations. Instead of looking at a setback as a failure, see it as a chance to learn something new. It's like untangling a knot of yarn. Sometimes you've got to pull it apart to see what you can create. And don't forget about your cheerleaders. Having a solid circle of friends, family, and mentors can work wonders. They offer fresh perspectives and a safety net when things get tough. Building your resilience toolbox could involve some fun exercises, so why not give it a shot? Think about those comfy mindfulness moments, like gratitude journaling, where you jot down all the little things that make you smile, or even shaking off stress with some fun exercise that lifts your mood. And don't forget about breathing techniques. They're like little treasures for soothing your mind and brightening your heart. So, as you kick off this adventure of getting a grip on your emotions, keep in mind it's really about getting to know yourself and surrounding yourself with a bunch of supportive people who help you shine. Breathe easy, mastering emotions with simple techniques. Ever feel like your emotions are on a crazy roller coaster? You're definitely not the only one. Here's a handy tip. You can actually tame those emotional highs and lows just by focusing on your breath. No joke, breathing exercises can be total lifesavers when it comes to staying calm during those stressful times. Take the 478 method, for example. It's like a mini getaway for your mind. Breathe in deeply for 4 seconds. Hold that breath as if you're enjoying a scrumptious cupcake for 7 seconds, and then slowly let it out over 8 seconds. You'd be amazed at how many stress gremlins you can send packing when you do this. It works by turning on your parasympathetic nervous system, which is like your built-in relax button that helps you chill out and kick anxiety to the curb. Now let's chat about box breathing. Imagine it as a snug little square you can stash your worries in. Inhale for 4 counts, hold for 4, exhale for 4, and pause for 4. Do this a few times, and you'll feel like you're floating on a fluffy cloud. Understanding how controlling your breath affects your body makes these exercises even more effective. They can slow down your heart rate, lower your blood pressure, and send that annoying stress hormone cortisol packing. Thinking about creating your own calm down routine? Fantastic idea. You might want to take some deep breaths during a busy day at work or try box breathing before bed to help you fall asleep more easily. Stick with these practices, and you'll notice that you'll start handling your emotions better over time. But hang on, there's more. Mixing your breathing exercises with relaxing activities like gentle yoga or soothing music can really elevate your stress-busting game. It's like making the ultimate smoothie. Each ingredient adds something yummy to the mix. Being mindful is another key piece of the puzzle when it comes to managing your emotions. Think of mindfulness as your very own time machine, helping you stay right in the moment, present and accounted for. It lets you notice your feelings without getting swept away like a leaf caught in a storm. When you boost your self-awareness, you start paying closer attention to what's buzzing around in your mind and heart, where those feelings come from, and how they shape what you do. Techniques like body scan meditations are brilliant for tuning into those physical sensations linked to your emotions. You might just be amazed at what you find. And let's not skip over emotional intelligence. It's all about tuning into your own feelings and those of others. Mindfulness practices can really help sharpen that skill, making your relationships better and giving you healthier ways to handle your emotions. Now, have you ever given gratitude a whirl? It's like throwing on a pair of rose-tinted glasses. Keeping a gratitude journal where you write down things you appreciate can steer your focus away from the negatives and towards the good stuff in life. It's a small habit that can work wonders for your emotional bounce back. So, why not give these techniques a try? You might just find yourself feeling a bit lighter and a whole lot brighter. Moving on to shattering those mental walls, we're stepping into the realm of our minds and seeing how giving our brains a bit of a workout can really lift our spirits and boost our overall mental well-being. It's kind of like a fun exercise session for your mood. We kick things off by taking a good peek at cognitive biases, the sneaky little quirks that throw a wrench in our decision-making. Then, we looked at clever ways to sharpen our focus and keep our attention glued, like spotting a luscious piece of fruit in a vibrant grocery aisle. We also had a natter about flipping those negative thoughts upside down and using positive affirmations, which is like planting seeds of cheerfulness in our minds. By noticing the lovely little dance between our thoughts and actions, we can create shiny, positive patterns that push us towards success. Accountability is like having a dependable sidekick, and keeping an eye on ourselves helps keep our cognitive skills in shape. To deal with our feelings, we chatted about some handy-dandy emotional regulation tricks. You know those little triggers that send us spiraling? Figuring them out and mapping them out is super important. Imagine it like crafting a treasure map. Once you know exactly where the X is, you can discover smart ways to cope. Building up emotional strength through mindfulness practices, taking deep breaths, and creating calming routines is super important for lasting happiness. It's like wrapping your mind in a warm, fluffy blanket. These practices not only make us mentally tougher, but also boost our overall happiness. Kind of like adding sprinkles of joy to our daily lives. When we mix controlling our thoughts with regulating our emotions, it's like having a treasure map to inner peace that guides us to be the best versions of ourselves. Now, let's dive into breaking down those mental barriers that keep you from reaching your true potential. These annoying roadblocks often come from limiting beliefs that slam the brakes on both personal and professional growth. It's just like trying to drive with the handbrake on. Spotting these beliefs takes some serious self-reflection and a sharp eye for patterns hiding beneath the surface of our day-to-day lives. Imagine peeling an onion. You've got to dig a little deeper to find the roots of these beliefs, which often sprouted in childhood or were planted by what society expects from us. When we shine a light on these limiting thoughts, it's like bursting out of a jam-packed jar. We start feeling free. In this part of our journey, we'll check out different ways to highlight and tackle these beliefs. We'll dig into where they come from and how they morph into those annoying automatic thoughts that mess with our everyday choices. Practicing self-reflection, journaling, and mindfulness can be awesome tools for unearthing these internal hurdles, just like a gardener pulls pesky weeds from a stunning flower bed. Plus, we'll tap into the amazing powers of reframing and positive affirmations. Think of them as magic paintbrushes that can transform negative beliefs into empowering truths. Have you ever caught that little voice in your head saying, "You can't do that"? Well, that pesky thought is like a big anchor dragging you down, making it hard to smoothly sail toward your dreams. If we can tackle these sneaky thoughts, often called limiting beliefs, we can unlock our true potential and live our best lives. So what exactly are these limiting beliefs? They're like invisible chains holding you back, often shaped by past experiences or the world around us. Imagine this. When we're kids, we're like little sponges, soaking up all sorts of messages about what we can or can't do. If someone keeps telling you that you're not smart enough, those words can stick with you like a pesky piece of gum on your shoe, long after the chat is over. Dr. Bruce Lipton, in his book The Biology of Belief, talks about how our early years are like being in a dream. We're taking in everything around us almost like we're in a trance. Picture strolling through a gallery filled with ideas, picking up stunning paintings of encouragement and some pretty grim sketches of limits. This phase is super important for shaping what we believe about ourselves. But there's more to the tale. Society loves to chime in with its opinions, nudging us towards narrow paths like a train chugging down a preset track. Seriously, how many times have you seen stereotypes that shove people into specific boxes based on gender or their background? These outside pressures can stick us to beliefs that don't really match up with what we're capable of. Spotting those pesky limiting beliefs can feel like hunting for treasure on a foggy beach. They often sneak into our daily thoughts, the ones that pop up when we're thinking about trying something new. That inner voice might say, "I can't do that," or "What if I mess up?" It's just our brains trying to keep us safe, wrapped up in a snug blanket of excuses that's a bit too tight. So, how do we start tearing down these mental walls? One great way is to listen to that little voice. When it pipes up with, "You're not able to do that," push back. Dig a bit deeper and figure out where that belief came from. Was it an experience from your childhood, a casual remark, or maybe something society has drilled into us? Reflecting on these thoughts is like shining a torch in a dimly lit room. Suddenly, things start to look a lot clearer. The effect of these limiting beliefs on our journey can be huge. They can lead us to sabotage ourselves, making choices that keep us stuck in a rut. For example, someone who doubts their leadership skills might pass up a fantastic chance to lead a team, settling for a repetitive cycle that feels impossible to break. It's a loop that can only change if we really make an effort to challenge those beliefs. So, whether it's a past experience or an outside message holding you back, just remember, you have the power to rewrite your story. By spotting and smashing through these mental walls, you can step into a brighter path, more confident you. The future is wide open. Let's adventure into it together. Breaking free from mental barriers. Ever find yourself feeling stuck, like you're slogging through thick mud while trying to hit a goal? That's often because of something called a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's when we unknowingly act out on our negative beliefs, convincing ourselves that we can't reach what we really want. Tony Robbins nailed it when he said that the biggest thing standing between you and your dreams is the story playing in your head. It's a good reminder of just how much our thoughts shape our reality. So how do we turn that story around? First off, we need to dig into our beliefs and see what's holding us back. This is where a bit of self-reflection comes in handy. Spend some quiet time thinking about those thoughts that creep up and make you hit the brakes. These annoying thoughts can be like buzzing mosquitoes, buzzing in your ear and keeping you from enjoying your day. Asking yourself the right questions is like discovering a key to a treasure chest full of cool insights. Questions like, what do I truly think about my skills? Or what stories am I telling myself that don't really make sense? Can shine a light on hidden beliefs. And don't skip out on journaling. It's like having a good chat with yourself on paper. As you write down your feelings and thoughts, you might start to see patterns pop up, clearly revealing those limiting beliefs. Mindfulness is another fantastic tool in your kit. Think of meditation as a gentle spotlight, illuminating those quiet thoughts lurking in the background. Once we start spotting these beliefs for what they really are, the magic of reframing kicks in. This is all about twisting your limiting beliefs into something way more positive. Positive affirmations are like planting seeds of confidence in the garden of your mind. By frequently repeating uplifting statements about yourself, you can begin to crowd out those annoying weeds of negativity. Plus, it's super important to dig into the truth behind your beliefs. For instance, if you catch yourself saying, "I'm just terrible at public speaking," take a moment to ask if there's any solid proof backing that up. More often than not, these beliefs can be as flimsy as a house of cards. Revamping your inner dialogue can feel like giving your home a makeover. By actively swapping out those limiting thoughts for ones that empower you, you can really change your mindset in a big way. Now, let's dive into how to smash those mental blocks. These sneaky barriers can feel like a solid brick wall when you're trying to move forward. Figuring out what these blocks are is the first step in conquering them. They can pop up in all sorts of ways, like procrastination or that pesky self-doubt, acting as hurdles on your path. But here's the silver lining. You can totally take down these walls. Here are some practical tips. First, recognize what's causing your mental blocks. Then use the methods that vibe with you. Create environments that help you flourish, and practice mindfulness to keep yourself anchored. Once you start breaking through these mental barriers, your full potential won't just be a distant dream. It'll be a lively reality waiting for you. Feeling stuck and low on motivation? You're definitely not alone. It's like looking at a plain wall when you've got a masterpiece in mind. It can be super annoying. Spotting the signs of mental blocks is the first step to tackling them head on, especially when stress and fear sneak in like uninvited party crashers. One clear sign that you're dealing with a mental block is procrastination. It's that moment when tasks seem as heavy as a boulder, and somehow you end up doing everything except what you actually need to do. Sometimes it's all about the fear of failing or wanting everything to be picture perfect, and before you know it, you're wandering around a maze with no exit in sight. And let's not forget stress. It kicks our bodies into fight or flight mode, pulling our focus away from what we should be doing, making it feel like we're just running in circles. And then there's fear, whether it's the worry about tripping over your own feet or even the panic of succeeding too well. This can freeze you right in your tracks. It's like standing on the edge of a diving board, hesitating to take the plunge into the water below. So how do you break free from these invisible shackles? Let's chat about some friendly tips that can clear the fog. First up is the 5-minute rule. Think of it as a gentle push. The challenge is simply to stick with a task for just 5 minutes. You'd be amazed how often getting started is the toughest part. Once those 5 minutes pass, you might find yourself cruising along like a snowball gathering speed. Next, we've got brainstorming. This is where the real fun happens. Imagine yourself in a vibrant garden overflowing with ideas. Anything goes. No judgment here. Jot down any thought that comes to mind, no matter how silly it may seem. You never know when a crazy idea might blossom into something amazing. This kind of free thinking can help you discover shiny solutions that were just hanging around unnoticed. Now, let's have a chat about flipping the script on failure. Instead of seeing a setback as a solid wall, treat it like a stepping stone. Each little stumble teaches us something new, nudging us closer to what really works. Think of every bump in the road as a friendly signpost steering you on your journey. Creating a comfy environment is super important too. Picture your workspace as a cozy little nest. If it's a mess, your mind might feel a bit tangled up too. Start by decluttering. Get rid of those bits and bobs you don't need. Make sure everything you require is close at hand. A tidy space can really sharpen your focus. And don't forget about having accountability buddies. Sharing your goals with someone you trust is like adding a trampoline to your routine. Each bounce helps you jump even higher. Regular catch-ups with your partner can sprinkle in motivation and offer a fresh perspective when you hit a snag. Lastly, let's not skip over the magic of celebrating small wins. Each little success is like discovering a golden nugget in the sand. It gives you a boost to keep going, reminding you that any progress, no matter how tiny, is still progress. So, my friend, the next time that mental fog rolls in, remember these steps. With a little nudge in the right direction, you can clear the skies and chart your own path ahead. Keeping the momentum going is super vital, and one of the best ways to do that is by giving yourself a little cheer for those tiny victories. Think of it like watering a plant. You need to provide that little boost to help it thrive. Celebrating small wins can be as easy as taking a quick break, enjoying your favorite snack, or treating yourself to something nice. It's those little joys that keep your spirits high and fuel your drive for the bigger tasks that lie ahead. Now, let's chat about mindfulness and how it can really come to the rescue when your mind feels like a jumbled puzzle. It's like having a toolkit to break down those mental barriers. Breathing exercises and visualization techniques are super effective. Taking a few deep, slow breaths is like giving your brain and body a little reset, helping to calm the storm and sharpen your focus. Just sneaking in a few minutes every day for this practice, especially when stress is at its peak, can really change the game. Then there's visualization, which is all about seeing yourself absolutely nailing your tasks. Picture this: you're imagining yourself crossing the finish line or dodging all those bumps in the road like a pro. That kind of mental imagery does wonders for your confidence. By visualizing success step by step, it doesn't just take away the overwhelm, it also lays out the actions you need to follow. Next up are those regular self-check-ins, which can really be a game changer. Think of it as stopping to enjoy the little things, like the smell of flowers or that first sip of coffee. Journaling can be a big help here, giving you a space to unload your thoughts, keep track of your feelings, and notice how far you've come. Write down those habits that keep popping up. They might show you where you can grow, or simply give you a reason to celebrate how amazing you've been. On this journey, we've discovered how those pesky limiting beliefs can really mess with our minds and affect our lives. By shining a light on where they come from, whether it's childhood experiences or society's annoying expectations, we can start to tackle them with a dash of kindness and a proactive approach. Using techniques like metaphorically looking in the mirror and asking yourself some guiding questions can help bring those hidden thoughts into the open. With these strategies in hand, we can flip the script on our stories, pushing aside those mental barriers. What we've learned is that by embracing these fun and easy practices, we're crafting a brighter, more empowered tale for ourselves. Let's dive into how to turn your dreams into reality, like making that lovely beach holiday happen with a packed suitcase and some sunscreen. Wanting to succeed feels amazing, but it takes a bit more than just hope and wishing on shooting stars. You need a solid plan, almost like following a recipe for your favorite dish, to make sure it turns out just right. Advanced goal setting is like the magician's trick of goal making. It's all about thinking outside the box. Here, it's not just about shooting for the moon. We're aiming for a whole new galaxy. With this approach, we'll break down your dreams into manageable little bits that fit together like a jigsaw puzzle, making the entire picture easier to see. Now, we're diving into the fun world of SMART goals. Yep, it's an acronym, but let's keep it casual. Think of SMART as your handy toolkit, chock full of everything you need to set goals that are not only challenging, but also totally doable. Each letter has a special meaning: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Imagine grabbing a paintbrush and starting to whip up a masterpiece. The clearer your vision, the easier it is to choose the right colors. Specific goals are like a GPS telling you where you're going, while measurable steps turn those big dreams into something real. It's the difference between saying, "I want to lose weight," and "I want to drop 10 pounds in 3 months." The second one gives you a definite target, like aiming for the bullseye in darts. Next up is the magic of benchmarks. Picture yourself on a road trip. You definitely want a spot when it's time to grab that snack, right? Those little checkpoints keep you motivated and on track, instead of feeling lost in the vast desert of procrastination. Being realistic is super important. Think about it as not trying to run a marathon tomorrow if you've just started jogging. Setting those high-flying goals is thrilling, but let's steer clear of a crash landing into burnout. Instead, let's make sure our goals align with what truly matters to you. like how a snug blanket feels on a frosty day. This connection helps keep your motivation bubbling when things get a little tough. And don't forget about deadlines. Picture a countdown clock leading up to a surprise party. It adds that extra bit of excitement, doesn't it? Having a timeline keeps you on your toes and makes sure you're making steady progress towards your shiny rewards. Throughout this part, you'll find handy tips and real-life examples that can turn your vision board into an achievement board. So grab your favorite drink, get comfortable, and let's arm you with all the strategies you need to chase down those big, ambitious dreams. Now, let's get ready to paint your success story with clarity and intent. SMART goals made simple. So let's talk about SMART goals. It's like a magic recipe that helps you make your dreams way clearer and easier to achieve. SMART stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. This awesome framework helps you set goals that aren't just floating around aimlessly, but are real, achievable, and wrapped up in a timeline. First off, let's dive into being specific. It's like picking out your favorite pizza toppings rather than just saying, "I want a pizza." Instead of going for a vague aim like boost sales, get precise with something like increase monthly sales by 20% through targeted marketing campaigns. This clear direction answers all the key questions. What needs to happen, who's in charge, and what steps you need to take next. When your goals aren't all fuzzy, you create a clear path that makes it super easy to track how you're doing and spot if you've missed any important checkpoints. Staying specific keeps you accountable and sharpens your focus. Next up is measurability. This one's like having a scoreboard during a game. It helps you keep track of how well you're doing and when you've hit that mark. Adding measurable milestones makes your goals feel real and easy to check off. For instance, instead of saying, "Get more mobile app users," try, "Let's increase our monthly mobile app users by 1,000. With this level of detail, you can zoom in on your progress and spot any bumps in the road, just like a coach tweaking the game plan to win. Now let's chat about achievability, which is all about keeping your feet on the ground. Your goals should challenge you, but also be realistic. If a tiny startup daydreams about turning into a global behemoth in a year without the right tools, it's like trying to chase after clouds. It'll just slip away. Setting a smarter goal, like expanding into 3 specific regions over the next year, keeps those motivational vibes flowing and helps you avoid burnout or feeling like you've hit a wall. Then there's relevance. Every single goal should feel like it's fitting into a bigger puzzle and connecting back to your overall mission and values. This way, what you're doing actually contributes to your success. For example, if a company is all about being eco-friendly, it might set a goal to reduce its carbon footprint by 30% over the next few years. That goal fits perfectly into their larger vision and keeps everyone aligned. Last but not least, let's not forget about being time-bound. Every goal needs a deadline, like putting a date in your diary for a friend's birthday. Without a timeline, it's super easy to let things drag on forever. When you know you have a target date, it gives you that extra push to keep moving forward. So there you have it. The SMART framework is like your buddy when it comes to setting goals that are not only doable, but also keep you excited and on track for success. So, grab a bit of paper or even a napkin, jot down those goals, and watch them turn into your stepping stones on the journey ahead. Let's have a little chat about setting goals. Imagine you've got your sights set on something awesome. If you want to really score big over the next 5 years, then your goals should totally vibe with the idea of being environmentally friendly. Sounds like a plan, right? Now, let's add some time limits into the mix. Having a clear deadline is like putting a little pep in your step, pushing you to get things rolling and stay fired up. Think about it. When you know you've got to roll out a shiny new product line by the end of Q4, it's like having a clock ticking quietly in the background, giving you that friendly nudge to keep moving. Deadlines aren't just about feeling the heat. They actually help you figure out what you need to get done and how to manage your time like a pro. Plus, they're great for those important moments when you can check in and see how you're doing. Now let's dive into why it's super important for our goals to reflect our values. When what we're aiming for feels personal, it gets a whole lot more exciting. Imagine an employee who's all about cranking up customer satisfaction because they genuinely want to provide amazing service. That's motivation that runs deep. It's tough to stick to the grind if there's no spark connecting your goal to what you truly care about. Another cool tool in your goal-setting toolbox is visualization. Think of it like your secret weapon for tapping into the power of your imagination. Have you ever just let your mind wander to a future moment? Picture this. If your goal is to crush a marathon, close your eyes and see yourself crossing that finish line. Feel that solid ground under your feet, hear the crowd going wild, and soak in that moment of pure joy. You can almost taste it, right? When you really dive into these mental images, you're syncing up your mind with your goals, making them feel totally within reach. According to life coaches, weaving a little visualization into your daily routine can brighten up your day. Spend a few minutes each morning picturing your dreams, or round off your night by reflecting on what you've achieved. It's like planting the seeds for your dreams to grow into something amazing. Making your dreams real, vision boards. So here's the deal. You've got this massive dream, and there's a way to make it pop right in front of your eyes. Enter vision boards. Think of them as your dream's biggest fan, a fun collection made up of magazine cutouts, your own doodles, or printed pictures that show what you really want in life. It's almost like having a treasure map for your goals, reminding you every day of the journey you're on. Putting together a vision board is like a crafty project that's a blast, but it packs way more punch than it seems. Start by hunting down images, words, or symbols that resonate with what you're after in life. Arrange them on a board you'll hang somewhere you can see daily, like on your bedroom wall or your desk at work. This daily visual treat keeps your dreams alive in your mind, giving you a little push even when your motivation takes a dive. A lot of people find that seeing their goals in bright, lively colors makes them feel less like far-off dreams and more like real, attainable goals. Visualizing success, guided imagery. Next up is guided imagery, a cool tool that brings your dreams to life using your imagination. Unlike those random daydreams we all drift into, guided imagery is more structured, kind of like a friendly tour guide for your goals. Whether you're listening to a soothing audio track or a therapist's calming voice, this technique uses descriptive language to create striking pictures in your mind, helping you chill out and get excited about what you want to achieve. There are various ways to use guided imagery. One way is by engaging your senses. Imagine every detail by using all 5 senses. Can you smell those freshly baked cookies? Can you hear the waves crashing on the beach? Picture it so clearly it feels like you're actually biting into that cookie right this minute. Another technique is storytelling, where you envision yourself as the hero in your own epic tale, boldly reaching for your goals. And here's a fun fact. Studies show that using guided imagery can actually help reduce stress and anxiety, just what you need during those moments when nerves try to steal your thunder. To add a sprinkle of guided imagery to your life, check out apps or recordings that guide you through these creative visualizations. The more you practice, the more those mental pathways strengthen, bridging the gap between where you are now and where you want to head. The magic of mental rehearsal. Now let's explore another cool technique, mental rehearsal. Athletes and performers swear by it, and honestly, who can blame them? This method is like running a mental dress rehearsal for the big event. Imagine yourself going through all the things you need to nail your goals. Believe it or not, studies reveal that this kind of mental practice lights up the same parts of your brain that actual physical practice does. So, say you've got a super important presentation coming up. Don't just wing it. Spend some time visualizing yourself striding up to that podium, confidently clutching your notes, and delivering your pitch with style. This mental prep can really boost your readiness, bringing you closer to acing that presentation like a total pro. Now, let's imagine this. You're in front of a crowd, feeling as relaxed as a cat soaking up the sun. You're delivering your speech beautifully, fielding questions effortlessly, and basking in that lovely glow of confidence. Sounds pretty great, right? Well, you can actually capture that fantastic feeling with a little trick called mental rehearsal. To kick things off, find a quiet spot, maybe your comfy bed or a peaceful park bench, and close your eyes. Picture every moment of your speech as vividly as if you're watching it unfold on screen. The more you do this, the better you train your brain to handle the real deal like a champ. Think of visualization like watering a plant. The more you do it, the stronger and healthier that plant, and your confidence grows. Visualize your goals with crystal clear clarity in your mind. Just like a chef perfecting a soufflé, regular practice helps shape those neural pathways until reaching for your dreams feels like second nature. If you're really keen on gearing up for success, why not add a bit of variety? Start with guided imagery to help you chill out and gather your thoughts. Then switch gears into creative visualization, letting your imagination fly before plunging into that mental rehearsal. This combo works wonders, ensuring you're ready for every twist and turn of your journey. And hey, remember to keep your thoughts bright. Those annoying negative vibes can sneak in and crash your visualization party. When they do, just wave them off and swap them with upbeat, happy images. For instance, if you're feeling stressed about a big exam, picture yourself sailing through those questions and scoring high. Simple as that, right? Visualizing your success doesn't just fire you up, it also builds your resilience. Every time life throws you a curveball, take a quick pit stop at your mental vision board or run through your mental rehearsal to remind yourself of all the amazing stuff you're capable of. Now let's jump into the thrilling world of setting those big, bold goals, but with a fun twist. By using the SMART criteria, specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound, you can set goals that are as clear as a sunny day. Being specific helps clear the fog and harness your focus, while measurable milestones keep you on track like a trusty GPS. Having realistic goals keeps your motivation alive, and ensuring your aims fit into the bigger picture makes sure you're cruising in the right direction. Plus, setting deadlines is like putting a finish line in a race. It gives you that extra boost to sprint ahead and manage your time like a pro racing driver zooming around a track. With this strategy in your back pocket, your dreams turn into manageable milestones. All right, mate, let's jump into something super exciting. You know those moments when you feel stuck, like a car with a flat tire? Well, how about we spice things up with a bit of unconventional wisdom, like a spare tire to keep you moving forward. By shaking up how we tackle our goals, we can spark breakthroughs in our lives and careers. Picture this. Instead of sticking to the usual straight path that everyone else travels, we decide to wander off the beaten track. It's like stumbling upon a hidden treasure chest full of creative solutions and nifty shortcuts that most people just pass by. When we start exploring these overlooked strategies, those annoying challenges turn into thrilling new adventures. Let's chat about some practical, fun ways to embrace this unconventional thinking. Imagine you're at work, hitting that mid-afternoon slump, and instead of grabbing another cup of coffee, you take a quick mindfulness break. It's like hitting the refresh button on your brain. You come back feeling clearer and more energized, surprising even yourself. This part is packed with real-life stories of folks who broke the mold and found success through some non-traditional paths. Think about those legendary figures from history who weren't afraid to shake things up, like a painter splashing bright colors on their canvas, or an inventor who saw potential when others just saw problems. Their adventures show us that stepping out of our comfort zone can lead to some truly amazing outcomes. But hey, don't just go by what I say. We'll also explore some everyday examples and real-life stories that highlight how embracing the unusual can spark personal growth and professional wins. For instance, mixing insights from different areas. Imagine an artist teaming up with a scientist could result in some mind-blowing innovations. So how do we bring these out-of-the-box techniques into our everyday lives? It's easier than you might think. Just a few little tweaks to your routine can completely change the game. For instance, why not turn your meetings on their head, try standing instead of sitting, or brainstorm while taking a stroll? You might be amazed at how this new vibe boosts your energy and unlocks creativity. Ultimately, it's all about keeping our minds wide open and believing there's more than one way to hit our targets. Welcoming this quirky wisdom isn't just a strategy, it's a fun adventure towards growth and understanding. So, let's get our hands dirty, think creatively, and see where this journey leads us. Mind your breaks for better ideas. You know how sometimes our workdays feel like we're stuck on a never-ending treadmill, just going and going? Well, guess what? Hitting the pause button, yes, really, can totally transform the game. Studies say that taking short mindfulness breaks can actually amp up your focus and creativity way more than just slogging through a mental block. Imagine taking just 5 minutes every hour to let your brain catch its breath. It's like refreshing your computer. Suddenly, everything runs smoother, and you're ready to tackle new challenges with fresh energy. Let's also talk about shaking things up a bit. Instead of just following the herd, take a moment to think about how things are done and if there's room for improvement. Picture your next meeting. Instead of letting the loudest voices dominate, how about trying a round-robin approach where everyone has a chance to speak? It's like passing the talking stick around a campfire. Everyone can share their thoughts, making the conversation richer and more inclusive. You get to view things from different perspectives, and that can really sharpen your decision-making skills. And if you're on the hunt for a little inspiration, let's not overlook the power of history. Just think about the incredible people who shattered expectations and found wild success. Take Leonardo da Vinci, for instance. He wasn't satisfied with just being an artist or merely a scientist. He dipped his toes into art, science, and engineering. Da Vinci blended his passions like a painter mixing colors on a canvas while tossing in some scientific genius for good measure. If we open ourselves up to exploring diverse subjects, we might just stumble upon some groundbreaking ideas too. Now let's hear a little wisdom from another icon, Thomas Edison, the ultimate tinkerer. He's renowned for his endless experiments and once said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." Now that's a game changer. Instead of seeing setbacks as failures, try to view them as stepping stones on your path to success. Learning from these historical figures can really show us how to be resilient and tackle problems creatively, even when the going gets tough. Mixing up knowledge from different areas can lead to mind-blowing breakthroughs. Take design thinking, for example. This process is generally used for product development, but here's the cool part. It can also sprinkle a bit of magic on business strategies. This way of thinking focuses on empathy, brainstorming, and testing out ideas, fueling innovative changes in marketing campaigns or company initiatives. By scooping up insights from different fields, you might just uncover solutions that traditional methods wouldn't dream of finding. And here's where the real fun kicks in. When experts from different backgrounds come together, that's when the magic really happens. Consider how artificial intelligence is shaking things up in healthcare. We're witnessing some amazing advancements in medical diagnostics, all thanks to the fusion of technology with medical science. It's truly remarkable, and you never know what new discoveries could pop up when we mix various areas of expertise. So, let's keep in mind that the path to creative problem solving is often lined with breaks, open minds, and a sprinkle of teamwork. Collaboration breeds innovation. When doctors, engineers, and creatives team up, the sparks fly. They come up with ideas faster and better than when they're on their own. So managers, take note. Encourage your teams to connect and collaborate with people from other departments. It's kind of like mixing up paint colors. Each shade adds its own twist, helping us whip up exciting new creations and tackle problems from cool new angles we hadn't even considered. Now, let's take a peek at your everyday life. Sometimes, all it takes are the smallest tweaks, like sprinkling in a bit of unexpected wisdom, to turn an ordinary day into something amazing. Instead of jumping straight into your emails first thing in the morning, why not spend those first 30 minutes doing something that really gets you excited? You could dive into a few pages of that book that's been collecting dust, squeeze in a quick workout, or jot down some goals. A little time for yourself can really shift your mindset, leaving you feeling energized and ready to take on whatever comes your way. Another fun idea is to welcome surprises. Instead of sticking to a super strict plan for every little detail of a project, give yourself a chance to let things unfold on their own. Think of it like baking cookies. Sometimes the best batches happen when you toss in a handful of chocolate chips just because. Being flexible like this can lead to unexpected perks and creative breakthroughs. And don't overlook the magic of meeting new people. Chatting with folks outside your usual crew can bring in fresh ideas and opportunities that might just turn everything around. Let's dive into a couple of cool stories about people who succeeded in quirky ways. Check out Adolf Dassler, the genius behind Adidas. His adventure kicked off in the snug little washroom of his mum's house, where he started making sports shoes. What set him apart was his talent for asking athletes what they really wanted in their shoes. Imagine a chef tasting his dish. Dassler gathered feedback to whip up the perfect athletic footwear that everyone loved. Instead of going the typical route with flashy ads, he focused on what truly mattered to his customers, creating that legendary three-striped shoe in 1949, which laid the groundwork for a worldwide sportswear phenomenon. Then there's Warby Parker, a name that totally shook up the eyewear game and changed the way we shop for glasses. Founded by Neil Blumenthal, Andrew Hunt, David Gilboa, and Jeffrey Rader, they basically became the Netflix of eyewear. Launching their website at the same time as a super exciting feature in GQ magazine was like hitting the jackpot. They were flooded with orders, but instead of freaking out, they turned it into an amazing opportunity. These examples really show how thinking outside the box and being open to ideas can lead to some incredible outcomes. So, when you're feeling a bit stuck, just remember that a sprinkle of flexibility and the guts to ask for feedback can take you on a truly exciting journey. Embracing change and innovation. In the midst of all the craziness, there's often a brilliant chance to level up customer service. One company really stood out by crafting personal apologies and responding quickly to what customers needed. They launched their try-on program and even made a heartwarming promise. For each pair of glasses sold, they'd donate another one. This thoughtful approach made them shine in a pretty dull market. Now, let's chat about innovation. It's not just for the business whizzes. Innovators have this magical way of shaking things up all over the place by borrowing bits of unusual wisdom. Take Tesla, for example. Elon Musk and his crew didn't just fiddle with gas engines. They totally flipped the whole auto industry on its head. While everyone else was busy polishing up those old combustion engines, Tesla was way ahead, diving deep into battery technology and self-driving cars. This bold move didn't just give Tesla a boost, it also raised the bar for what folks now expect from their rides. Think about Netflix, too. They kicked things off by renting DVDs like it was nobody's business, but they had the foresight to see the streaming wave coming. As more people got fast internet at home, Netflix switched gears into the streaming world. Suddenly, subscribers could binge their favorite shows and movies whenever they wanted. Meanwhile, dinosaurs like Blockbuster just couldn't keep up with this new trend and got left in the dust. By investing in original content, Netflix cemented its throne in the entertainment world, showing how riding the wave of disruptive tech can lead to being on top of the game. Let's switch things up a bit and explore how unconventional knowledge can spark personal growth. Take Phil Knight, one of the brains behind Nike, for example. His journey took an unexpected twist, thanks to some travel and a few brilliant insights. While wandering in Japan, he discovered Onitsuka tiger shoes, high-quality yet affordable finds that really inspired him. Spotting a golden opportunity, he snagged the distribution rights for the brand in the US. This move laid the groundwork for what we now know as the global giant, Nike. Knight was all about soaking in different cultures and practices, and that opened up a whole new world for him, turning him from just a regular track runner into a major player in the sports apparel scene. And then there's Ariana Huffington, whose journey shows us just how our life experiences can shape our direction. After feeling completely burnt out and worn out, she decided to take a step back and think about her lifestyle. Instead of zooming through life, she embraced wellness, which eventually led to the birth of the Huffington Post. Her shift shows us that sometimes it really does take a personal wake-up call to kickstart some serious change. Mindfulness magic. Growth through change. You know how just taking a moment to breathe can really lift your spirits? Well, imagine doing that on a grander scale. That's what happened when someone's journey of mindfulness not only changed their personal life, but also influenced their business choices. By mixing in topics like well-being and mental health into their media platform, they didn't just improve things for themselves. They created a vibe that resonated with a huge audience. This lovely, welcoming twist became a big part of the site's growth and success. Now, let's check out some stories that prove that stumbling can sometimes be the first step to soaring. Take Steve Jobs, for instance. He kicked off Apple and got off to a brilliant start, but then life threw him a curveball, and he found himself out of the company he'd started. What a tough break. But instead of sulking, he got busy launching Next and snagging Pixar, staying in the game and keeping his creativity alive. When he eventually made his way back to Apple, he brought a treasure chest of insights along with him. That was just the beginning of an incredible comeback, leading to game changers like the iPod, iPhone, and iPad. Talk about turning experiences into gold. Henry Ford has a similar tale of ups and downs. His first two businesses, Detroit Automobile Company and Henry Ford Company, didn't quite hit the mark. But hey, every cloud has a silver lining, right? Those failures were like stepping stones, teaching him valuable lessons that later led to the success of Ford Motor Company. He had a light bulb moment about how super important efficient manufacturing is. With that revelation, he rolled out the moving assembly line, slashing production costs and finally making cars affordable for the everyday person. His innovation didn't just save his business, it turned the automobile industry on its head. This part really shows how taking a quirky approach can lead to personal and work-life growth. We found some handy tips, like taking a moment for mindfulness breaks and shaking things up a bit, which can sharpen our focus and create a friendly vibe. Legends like Leonardo da Vinci and Thomas Edison demonstrate how blending different fields and sticking with it through failures can pave the way to amazing success. We also took a look at how mixing up disciplines can ignite creativity. Imagine combining design thinking with business strategy or bringing AI into healthcare. By being open to surprises and weaving in those little nuggets of wisdom into our everyday lives, we can end up creating something truly fantastic. So let's keep soaking in opportunities and letting go of our doubts. Now, let's unleash the magic of habits. Isn't it amusing how habits have such a big impact on our daily lives? They shape our choices and actions, often sneaking in without us even noticing. Kind of like a sneaky cat that curls up on your lap when you least expect it. The real magic of habits is that they can turn tricky tasks into things we do without a second thought. By digging into how habits are formed and how they work, we can grab this power and steer it toward positive changes that really make a difference in our lives. So, let's dive into the fascinating world of habits here. We'll break down the ins and outs of habit formation, looking at both the biological and psychological sides of things. Trust me, you'll leave with a treasure chest of insights into what makes habits tick. At the core of this exploration is something we call the habit loop. Imagine it as a little cycle that keeps spinning, made up of three main parts: the cue, the routine, and the reward. Think of the cue as your personal alarm clock, a certain time of day, a wave of emotion, or even a familiar spot that gets your habit rolling. Once that cue goes off, it triggers the routine, the action you take next. And then there's the reward, that delightful little pat on the back that says, "Well done," and encourages you to keep it up. It's like giving a treat to a dog when they follow a command. They quickly learn what gets them the goodies. When we get the hang of the habit loop, we can start creating our own effective habits. By figuring out our cues and rewards, we can swap old habits for fresher ones that actually help us, kind of like ditching a rusty old bike for a slick new ride. But hang on, there's more. Our habits are snugly tucked away in the quirky little world of our brains. They hang out in a spot called the basal ganglia, which is the area in charge of running our routines. Habits don't just appear out of thin air. They dig in deep through practice, like a tree strengthening its roots and stretching its branches over time. And here's the exciting part. You don't have to go through the process of building these habits all by yourself. This bit is bursting with handy examples and clever strategies to help you pinpoint, adjust, and even completely revamp your habits. Imagine having a toolbox filled with specialized tools, each one crafted to help you put together routines that lead to amazing success. Together, we'll turn your habit-forming journey into a thrilling adventure, one that gets you closer to the personal and professional growth you've been dreaming about. So let's jump in and make those habits work in our favor. Hey there. Ever wondered how some things just seem to happen on autopilot, like flicking on a light switch? Well, that's your brain being all clever. Neurobiologists have discovered that when we make a habit, our brain gets a bit of a boost. It conserves energy by handing the task over to a part called the basal ganglia. Yep, this tiny brain buddy fires up specific pathways that get stronger the more we repeat those actions, turning them into almost instinctual moves. Picture this. A study once asked folks to note down what they were doing every hour. To their surprise, they found that nearly half of their daily actions were just habits, things they did without even thinking, often in the same places. Can you believe how stuck those habits can become? They're like that old pair of comfy shoes you grab when rushing out the door. Let's add some fun with a little story about Sarah. Imagine this. Every morning during her break, she automatically reaches for a donut. This sweet treat exchange probably kicked off because that first lovely bite made her taste buds dance, all thanks to the sight of that donut box sitting on the table. As time rolled on, her brain made a link between seeing that box and the tasty reward. Voila, the habit took shape. Now just picture if Sarah starts picking up on this pattern. She could totally trade that donut for a piece of fruit, something a bit healthier that still feels like a treat. How cool is that? A new habit is definitely on the way. Now let's dive into something interesting. There's this playful struggle happening between actions that aim for specific goals and those habits we just fall into. Scientists have even set up some fun experiments to see how these behaviors hold up against one another. Take this thing called reward devaluation. It's like watching a rat to see if it'll still press a lever for a snack when that snack is no longer super exciting. If it keeps on pressing, we know it's in habit mode. Then there's another fun experiment called contingency degradation, which shakes up the link between what you do and what you get as a reward. It's like checking to see if you'd still bust a move at a party when the DJ suddenly starts spinning those cheesy 80s songs, even if they're not really your jam anymore. In our everyday lives, finding a sweet balance between those automatic habits and the more flexible, goal-focused actions is key. While habits can help make the bumps in our day a bit smoother, those goal-driven moves help us adapt when something new pops up. Think of it as having a reliable map for a road trip, but also having the freedom to take spontaneous detours to explore those quirky roadside attractions. So, by getting to grips with the habit loop and the mix of biological and psychological tricks at play, we can change the game on those not-so-great habits. For example, if you're set on ditching a bad habit, understanding how these mechanisms work can help you create a fab new routine. You're not just breaking the old cycle, you're crafting something way better. Morning mayhem, breaking the habit loop. You know that little habit of checking your phone the moment you wake up? It's like a chain reaction, one thing leads to another. What if instead you swap that phone peek for something more refreshing, like stretching your arms up to the sky or jotting down your thoughts in a journal? Imagine kicking off your day with this lovely sense of calm and positivity, instead of diving into the whirlwind of social media chaos. To build really awesome habits, it's all about nailing the art of cues, routines, and rewards. Picture this. If your goal is to hit the gym in the evening, pick a specific time. Maybe right after dinner, just like how you'd settle in to catch your favorite show. Pick a workout you genuinely enjoy. Imagine dancing like nobody's watching or tapping into your inner superhero with some kickboxing. And hey, don't forget to give yourself a little treat afterward, whether that's a sweet dessert or some relaxing Netflix time. Do this regularly, and before you know it, these fun activities will become second nature, just like brushing your teeth. Now, let's dive into those not-so-great habits we cling to, like comfy but worn-out sweaters. To toss them aside, we first need to figure out how they come about. Our brains are like little efficiency gurus. They create patterns to save energy for tricky tasks like crunching numbers or pondering life's mysteries. Yet sometimes, the habits we build aren't exactly the healthiest. The good news is we can rewire them by grasping the cues and rewards that push our actions. Cues are those little pokes that trigger our habits, like when you find yourself reaching for that sugary treat whenever work stress creeps in. Or maybe you can't resist hitting that snooze button like it's an award. Spotting these triggers is just like having a treasure map. It shows you where to dig in and make some changes. Once you've identified your usual cues, it's time to mix things up. This means adjusting your surroundings to catch the habit before it kicks in. For example, if you're a snoozer in the morning, why not move your alarm clock to the other side of the room? Suddenly, getting up to switch it off turns into a mini workout, making it much tougher to snuggle back into those comfy sheets. And let's say you often drive home past that tempting fast food place that whispers your name. Try taking a different route. Choose a path that steers you away from temptation, like a dance partner leading you off the dance floor. By flipping the script on where and when those habits hit, you're paving the way for a fresh beginning. Every little adjustment is a step toward wrapping yourself in empowering habits that lift you up instead of dragging you down. Swapping habits for healthier choices. Swapping out a bad habit for something positive can be way more effective than just trying to hit the brakes on that annoying behavior. It's like giving your brain a little refresh. Research shows that when you replace a harmful action with a good one, your brain shifts into a new mode, steering clear of that boring autopilot we all seem to fall into. Picture this. Whenever you're feeling stressed, you grab those tasty cookies. Instead of constantly telling yourself, no more cookies, why not switch it up? Treat yourself to some juicy fruit instead. By welcoming a fun new habit, you're not just saying bye to the cookies. You're bringing something awesome into your life. Now let's keep things simple. Our brains really dig anything that's straightforward and doesn't take too much thought. Those new habits might need a little time to settle in because they haven't built their pathways yet. But here's a handy tip. Break those new habits into smaller, bite-sized pieces. For instance, if you're eager to get fit, start with just 5 minutes of exercise each day. As that habit starts to stick, you can slowly crank up the time. It's like adding another scoop of ice cream to your sundae. Little steps make it even better. Thinking about the long haul can also do wonders. Let's be honest, lots of bad habits offer a quick thrill or a little relief. Like smoking, it might seem like a way to ease stress right then and there, but the long-term health risks? Yikes. Or biting your nails. It might feel comforting, but then your fingers end up looking like a horror show. Keeping those long-term benefits in mind can really fire up your motivation to get through those tricky early days of forming new habits. Sticking to it is your best mate on this journey. Science backs this up too. You really have to keep at it. It's not enough to just swap out a bad habit once or twice. You need to be dedicated until that shiny new behavior becomes as natural as your morning coffee. I totally get it. Waking up at 5 a.m. for a jog might feel like scaling a mountain at first. But trust me, before you know it, it'll be as automatic as brushing your teeth. So let's see how this all plays out in the real world. Meet Mike, a bloke who used to wrestle with unhealthy habits. After a long day at work, he'd often be found snacking on chips and scrolling through his phone like it was an Olympic sport. But then he made a choice, transforming habits, one snack at a time. To kickstart his new journey, Mike took a good look at what he was doing. He figured out that stress and boredom were like annoying little gremlins, nudging him towards unhealthy snacks. So, he decided to play a little game of hide and seek with his junk food. He moved the snack cupboard out of easy reach, like putting a cookie jar on the top shelf where you'd need a step stool to get it. Next up, Mike decided to stock his fridge with healthier snacks, filling it with a rainbow of veggies that seemed to wave hello every time he swung the door open. Whenever those pesky chip cravings kicked in, he switched things up and reached for a crunchy handful of carrots instead, swapping salty munching for a healthy boost. At first, it felt like trading an old comfy chair for a new one that was a bit too stiff. But as days passed, this new routine started to make it easier to forget about chips altogether. To keep things light, Mike wasn't too hard on himself with big goals. He started off easy, promising himself just one healthy snack a day. Like a cheerful train picking up steam, he slowly added more nutritious nibbles as his new munching habits began to feel totally normal. And let's not forget about keeping his eyes on the prize. Instead of giving in to the instant joy of chips, he painted a picture in his mind of all the great things a healthy diet could bring him: sunny days, more energy, and a boost of confidence that felt like wearing his super cool superhero cape. This positive thinking helped Mike stay on track, even when those old cravings tried to sneak back into his life. Of course, there were times when Mike stumbled and reached for his old favorites, but he didn't let it get him down. Instead, he viewed those little slip-ups as part of the ride, like tripping during a dance, but quickly getting back to the groove. Consistency became his reliable buddy, and before long, healthy snacks were a regular part of his daily routine. What Mike figured out wasn't just a personal victory. It's a roadmap anyone can follow to flip bad habits into good ones, leading to better stuff in our lives and at work. By spotting what triggers those habits, shaking things up a bit, swapping out the unhealthy snacks for the yummy, wholesome ones, keeping it easy, thinking about what's coming next, and pushing through those bumps in the road, we can all build habits that fuel our success and happiness. This little section was all about diving into the cool science behind how habits get formed. We took a peek at how our brains tick, focusing on the habit loop made up of cues, routines, and rewards. By spotting these key bits, it's like having a map for crafting habits that align with our goals, setting us up for smoother, more effective daily lives. In the dance of taking targeted actions and managing our usual behaviors, we can be flexible while keeping our moves efficient. Let's have a natter about how swapping out those annoying negative habits for some bright, shiny positive ones can really shake things up in our day-to-day lives. It could be something as easy as picking a crisp apple instead of munching on a bag of chips, or setting your alarm a little earlier for a nice, energizing jog. You know, the tiniest changes can build up into some pretty impressive transformations over time. The secret? Just keep at it and hold on to that long-term vision. Imagine it like planting a garden. You pop in a tiny seed and take care of it step by step, and before you know it, you've got a thriving plant. By breaking down new habits into small, manageable chunks and focusing on those lasting benefits, anyone can push through those awkward starting points and weave new routines right into daily life. This strategy gives you the tools not just to jazz up your everyday grind, but also to pave your way towards larger successes and overall joy. Now let's switch gears and dive into something just as thrilling: networking. Connecting with the influential folks out there is like having a secret key that opens up new doors of opportunity. In our intertwined world, being a savvy networker can really help you shine. Whether you're on the lookout for a mentor, hunting for valuable insights in your industry, or seeking out some collaboration, knowing the right people can seriously give your career and personal growth a boost. This part is all about arming you with practical tips for finding and connecting with the movers and shakers in your field. You'll discover how to dig deep into your research to spot those who hold sway in your industry, and how to kickstart genuine, meaningful conversations, whether you're chatting over a coffee or scrolling through social media. Oh, and let's not overlook the magic of shared interests. Tapping into what you both love can ignite authentic chats and lead to collaborations that feel like a breeze. Plus, I'll share some clever follow-up tricks to keep those budding relationships vibrant and thriving. You'll want each connection to blossom into something truly valuable for your network. Finding and teaming up with the right influencers is your ticket to unlocking the power of strategic networking for both your personal and professional success. It all begins with spotting those key figures in your industry who can hand over golden nuggets of wisdom, opportunities, and resources. So how do you kick off this adventure? First things first, you need to do a bit of digging into who's who in your field. Grab some industry magazines, dive into blogs, and figure out who's shaking things up. Once you've got a good sense of it all, you'll be ready to start building your crew of clever folks. Making friends with influencers. When it comes to connecting online, social media is like your trusty sidekick. Start by spotting the names that keep popping up in various posts. Look for folks leading cool conferences, writing awesome articles, or just having a massive following. Write down those names and put together a target list of these influencers. Next up, it's super important to know what you want from these connections. Are you looking for a bit of guidance, wanting to learn what's hot in the industry, or maybe hoping to join forces on a project? Having specific goals in mind will help keep you on track. Now, to get to know these influencers, you'll want to cozy up to what they're all about. Check out their work and see how it matches with your own ambitions. Platforms like LinkedIn, Twitter, and Instagram are like treasure chests packed with golden chances. Follow these folks to keep tabs on what they're up to. Instead of jumping straight into their DMs with requests, start off by engaging with their posts first. Leave thoughtful comments on their content. This shows you're genuinely interested and helps get the ball rolling on building a connection. It's like planting seeds in a garden. Give it some time to flourish. Creating your own content that strikes a chord with their interests can also snag their attention. Share fascinating articles, insightful posts, or even whimsical videos. It's like sending a bright kite into the breeze. You never know what might catch someone's eye. Another fab way to connect is by hitting up industry events like conferences and workshops. These gatherings are spot on for bumping into key influencers in a more relaxed setting. Before you head out, do a bit of research. Check out the speakers and attendees to know what they've been up to lately. This way, when you have a chat, you can drop in a few specifics. For instance, instead of just saying, "I liked your work," try something like, "I found your article on sustainable architecture really interesting. How do you think those ideas will change in the next decade?" It's like adding that secret ingredient to make your dish even tastier. After the event, keep the chatter alive. Shoot over a quick follow-up message that mentions something you both chatted about. This little touch can make you pop into their memory. Now, finding common ground is a fab way to kick off some genuine talks with influencers. Whether it's a shared love for a hobby, a mutual friend, or a passion for a cause, these connections can really help you bond. It's kind of like discovering a favorite ice cream flavor together. It sets a friendly vibe right from the get-go. Starting conversations made easy. When it comes to sparking up a conversation, finding common interests is like planting a seed in familiar soil. It blossoms into a lively discussion. Just be yourself. People love genuine interactions. For example, if you're both into saving the planet, why not chat about the latest eco-friendly projects you're excited about? It's a brilliant way to team up and connect over something you both care about. Throwing around ideas for joint projects like co-writing an article or organizing a community cleanup can open up fantastic opportunities based on your shared interests. When you bring something interesting to the convo, like a unique idea or cool resource, it makes the other person eager to dive deeper into the discussion. So, take some time to prepare and be thoughtful in your chats. It's kind of like setting a charming table before hosting a dinner party. The better the setup, the more tasty the connections. As you wander through this networking jungle, don't forget that persistence is key. Rubbing elbows with influential folks isn't usually a quick one-off. Think of it more as a marathon, not a sprint. Building these relationships is a continual journey, and you might be surprised by the fruits they bear as time goes on. Networking with brilliant minds isn't just a lucky encounter at a posh event. It's a strategic dance that can help you grow both personally and professionally. This part is stuffed with handy tips to make sure your networking leads to some meaningful opportunities. We'll break it down into essential themes, like honing your conversation skills, smart follow-ups, personal branding, and the magic of reciprocal networking. Mastering the conversation. First, let's dive into the fine art of conversation, the foundation of networking success. To keep the chat flowing, you'll want to master a few key skills. Active listening is a must. It's not just about catching what someone's saying. It's more like tuning into a fab podcast. When you really get what they're chatting about and respond with care, it shows you actually give a toss about them. This kind of interaction builds a solid bridge for lasting friendships. And don't be afraid to throw in those killer questions that get deeper. Instead of the boring, "What do you do?" try asking, "What made you pick your current job?" It's like comparing a chocolate bar to a fancy dinner. way more yummy and likely to spark a better chat. Last but definitely not least, don't forget about your elevator pitch. Keeping it quick and fun is super important. Think of it like giving a friendly wave that introduces you and your dreams, leaving them wanting to know more. Grab their attention, just like you'd catch the eye of a mate in a busy pub. Simply summarizing yourself. An elevator pitch is your personal highlights package. Short, snappy, and really convincing. It's all about showcasing who you are, what you do, and what you're after, all in the time it takes to ride an elevator. Practicing your pitch means when luck is on your side and you run into someone important, you can share your story in a way that grabs their interest. Now let's chat about those follow-ups. Think of them like the friendly waves you give after making a new friend, helping to weed out those fresh connections. Here are some simple tips for nailing those follow-ups. Timing is everything. Follow up soon after your first chat, like a nice breeze on a hot day. Ideally, within a day or two is perfect. A quick message or email saying how lovely it was to meet them and bringing up something specific from your conversation can really impress. It's like sending a little nudge to show you're still thinking of them. Personalized touch. When you reach out, add some personal flair. Make your messages tailor-made for each person and mention things you talked about. It shows you're not just another face in the crowd. You're someone who truly cares and pays attention. Sharing is caring. If something cool pops up, a fun article or a cool event, and you think they'd be into it, share it. A quick message about why you thought of them can keep the convo going. It paints you as a fun source of interesting stuff, so you stay fresh in their mind. Crafting your personal brand. Let's jump into the exciting world of personal branding. Imagine your brand as this bright light that pulls others in, including some pretty influential people who might just help you along the way. Here's how to make it shine. Showcasing you online. Think of your online presence as the eye-catching window of a quaint little shop. It should really show off your goals, values, and expertise. Make sure your social media profiles are up to date and packed with details about your skills and experiences. You want to come across as consistent and professional, just like the career you're aiming for. Spread your knowledge. Do you ever feel like you've got a bunch of wisdom to share? Go ahead and post articles, write engaging posts, or even whip up some fun videos to show off what you know. Keeping your content fresh not only highlights your skills, but also helps others see you as a go-to person in your field. Get involved. Don't just sit back and watch on social media. Jump into the chats, leave comments on posts, join discussions, and let your voice be heard. Being active boosts your visibility and makes you more credible, turning you into a familiar face in the crowd. With these tips in your toolkit, you'll be on the path to building awesome connections and a personal brand that stands out. Building connections the fun way. Let's have a little chat about networking. It's kind of like nurturing a garden, where every new connection is a seed that can grow into something lovely. When you jump into conversations and share your thoughts on topics you really care about, you're not just joining in, you're making yourself pop out like a sunflower in a sea of daisies. This kind of friendly engagement shows you're genuinely interested in the community, and that's how those real connections start to sprout. Now, let's chew on this idea of reciprocal networking. It might sound a bit posh, but it's really straightforward. Everyone should feel like they've got something good out of it. Picture this. It's a two-way street where both sides walk away with their baskets full. So how can we make sure everyone gains something? When you're chatting with someone new, consider what you can offer them. What skills or knowledge do you have that might help them out? Maybe you could introduce them to someone you know or share a helpful tip. The aim here is to create an atmosphere of give and take, so both of you leave with something valuable in hand. Be a bit proactive. It's like being that mate who shows up to movie night with snacks. No one even had to ask you. If you see a chance to help out or share something useful, dive right in. This kind of attitude doesn't just create good vibes, it makes you the go-to person everyone thinks of. Before long, folks will see you as the generous friend who's always ready to lend a hand. Let's also chat about building strong, lasting friendships. It's all about teaming up and being supportive. Keep an eye out for ways to join forces with people in your network. Whether you're tackling a project together or co-hosting a shindig, working together really strengthens those ties. It's like putting together a superhero squad where everyone brings their unique skills to the table. As we've been uncovering, we've looked at how to spot and connect with the influencers in your field. No matter if it's scrolling through social media or mingling at events, each approach opens up doors to new insights and fresh opportunities. When you genuinely connect, picture it like finding common ground while out for a walk. You can build relationships that grow and thrive, helping you blossom both personally and in your career. But hey, as you nurture these new connections, patience and sincerity are super important. Building strategic friendships isn't a quick dash, it's more of a fun marathon. It takes steady effort, but trust me, the rewards are definitely worth it. By adding real value, following up like a pro, and being genuine in your interactions, you'll come across as an informed and passionate professional in your field. So keep using these friendly tips to expand your circle and unlock some cool resources. The world of networking is lively and bursting with possibilities. Get out there and let those connections grow. Next up is embracing change. Navigating the ups and downs of life can sometimes feel like you're exploring a massive jungle, where every step brings a new surprise. You might hit some challenges that make your heart race, but remember, these moments can also be treasure maps leading to personal growth and unexpected adventures. When you face change with an open mind, you might just find paths that bring you joy and success. In this part, we're going to discover how to turn those nerve-wracking shifts into stepping stones for progress. Think of it like pulling out a toolbox, packed with clever tricks to help make those tricky moments a bit easier. You'll find some practical steps and handy tips to help you sail through challenges with a bit more ease. First up, let's chat about routines. Imagine them as that snug blanket that wraps you up tight when everything around feels a bit bonkers. Having a daily schedule keeps you anchored when the world seems to be spinning. It creates a reassuring rhythm, like your favorite song that just makes everything feel all right. Try breaking those big changes down into smaller, munchable tasks. You could set little, doable goals, like sorting out your workspace or mapping out your week ahead, that turn a mountain of stress into a series of tiny hills that are much easier to climb. Next, let's have a natter about your support crew. Think of your friends, family, and mentors as your loyal buddies, always ready to lend you a hand or share some wisdom when things get a bit rough. These relationships can offer not only guidance, but also that warm, comforting hug of emotional support we all need. While we're cruising through these transitions, we shouldn't forget about our emotional well-being. Looking after our feelings is a bit like tending to a garden. It needs love and care to really thrive. Mindfulness and self-care activities can help keep you steady. Picture yourself planting seeds of calm in the garden of your mind, letting them bloom even when the winds of change start to blow. In this part, we'll also highlight how important self-awareness and financial planning are. Think of these as your trusty compass and map in life's ever-changing landscape. With a mix of flexible thinking and a sprinkle of creativity, you can turn every challenge into a brilliant opportunity. So here's to steering through life's transitions with a grin. By stepping out of your comfort zone, you'll stumble upon valuable lessons and maybe even discover routes you never realized were there. Embrace the fresh. It's all about the possibilities that are waiting for you. Life can sometimes feel like you're juggling a pile of eggs while wobbling on a unicycle. Feels a bit mad, doesn't it? But here's a neat little tip. Take it one egg at a time. Breaking things down into smaller, manageable bits can really help you feel more in control and ease that annoying anxiety. Jotting things down in a to-do list or keeping a planner nearby is like having a handy map for your treasure hunt. It makes the adventure so much easier. Now let's dive into the people in your life, your connections. Imagine your support network as a safety net while you're trying to walk a tightrope over a big scary drop. Whether it's your mates, family, or mentors, having a solid crew around you can make wading through tricky times way less shaky. So don't be shy. Reach out when you need help. These are the people who can dish out advice, share their own tales, or just listen when you really need it. They help lighten the load a bit. And if you're feeling a bit jittery, jumping into social activities can be your secret ace. It's like finding a snuggly blanket on a chilly evening. It keeps you feeling connected and brings you together with folks who totally get what you're dealing with. Now, let's chat about feelings, another big part of the mix. Think of emotional intelligence like your handy toolbox. It's all about spotting your emotions and not letting them knock you off balance like an unexpected wave at the shore. Mindfulness tricks, like taking a slow, deep breath or trying some meditation, can help keep you grounded when things get a bit stormy. Writing down your thoughts, it's like having a heart-to-heart with yourself, letting you see things more clearly and helping you make sense of it all. When it comes to tackling life's wild roller coaster moments, being emotionally ready is your best mate. Fill your days with stuff that lifts your spirits, going for a stroll in the park, diving into a favorite hobby, or just curling up with an awesome book. These little joys help you shake off any built-up emotions and give you a nice escape when life feels a bit too much. Taking care of yourself is super important, like giving a plant the water it needs to grow strong and lively. By treating yourself well, you're boosting both your happiness and your inner strength. Just as vital is building self-awareness. Knowing your goals and what matters to you is like having a guiding compass when things are changing. Taking a moment to reflect can help keep you authentic and make sure you're aligned with your life's bigger picture. Don't forget, while it's fab to focus on what's in your control, don't forget to give yourself some positive pep talks too. When those pesky negative thoughts come creeping in, flip the script. Swap out the self-doubt for affirmations that remind you of your worth and give your confidence a nice boost. You've got this. Welcoming change with open arms. Hey there. You know what? Life can feel like a crazy roller coaster sometimes, especially when we're dealing with changes. It's totally normal to feel a bit shaky during these changes, kind of like a tiny boat bouncing on the waves. Giving yourself some grace and being patient can really help calm those rough waters. Now let's chat about being flexible. Picture life as a winding, twisty road rather than a straight highway. When unexpected turns pop up, being adaptable keeps your journey going and helps you find your way back. It's like playing a game of Tetris. Sometimes you just need to move your pieces around a bit to make everything fit nicely. Welcoming change can bring some cool surprises and give you a chance to grow. By viewing these transitions as amazing opportunities instead of annoying obstacles, you can switch your mindset from resisting what's new to jumping right in. And hey, we can't ignore finances, the not-so-exciting part of life, am I right? Keeping your money matters sorted can really lighten the load when life throws you a curveball. Think of creating a budget as building a safety net to catch you when you stumble, because life can get a bit unpredictable. Planning for changes in income or spending can help you feel a bit more stable. And if unexpected money issues pop up, having an emergency fund is like having a superhero come to your rescue. Don't be shy about asking financial experts for help. Their advice can really boost your money game. Setting realistic goals during changes is like putting little markers on your adventure map. Every time you achieve something, no matter how small, like checking off something on your to-do list, it's a little win that deserves a cheer. Celebrating these victories lifts your mood and keeps you pumped to keep progressing. Going through life can sometimes feel like trudging through a swamp, but what if we turned those tough times into stepping stones? Looking at challenges as chances for personal growth can completely change our perspective, transforming tricky situations into opportunities for positive change. When you hit those bumps in the road, try to see them as avenues to learn and innovate. Here's a thought. When someone feels like their career is at a standstill, they might choose to pick up new skills or experiment with fresh ideas to enhance their worth at work. This proactive approach not only tackles the current issue, but also sets them on a path for future success. It's just like adding new tools to your toolbox that will help you create a better future for yourself. Continuous learning is your secret sauce during transitions. It's like having a treasure chest that just keeps filling up with cool knowledge and handy skills. By staying curious and eager for new experiences, you become more flexible and tough. Just imagine yourself confidently striding through the twisting maze of today's crazy life, skillfully dodging all the bumps along the way. Keeping your brain busy and discovering fresh paths opens up some truly exciting possibilities for what's next on your adventure. Now, we'll go into turning challenges into victories. Problem solving and creativity can often feel like driving down a bumpy road, especially when struggles pop up like surprise potholes. But here's a fun twist. Those bumps can actually inspire your creativity. During times of change, keeping your spirits high can feel like a juggling act. However, if you flip the script and see those obstacles as growth opportunities, you'll notice they can really fire up your motivation, even when the going gets tough. Imagine you've just moved to a new city. At first, it might seem like you've jumped into the deep end, feeling a bit lost and out of your element. But hang on. Suddenly you realize it's a treasure chest just begging to be discovered. You've got a whole new world of friends to make, different cultures to dive into, and fresh viewpoints to soak up. Keeping your eyes on these shiny opportunities helps keep your excitement bubbling over as you navigate this wild ride. Being mindful is like having a superpower that helps you spot solutions faster than ever. It's all about being in the here and now, without the clutter of judgment fogging your view. When you're fully present, you can look at your thoughts and feelings more like a curious observer rather than someone caught up in the drama. This clarity can turn a chaotic situation into a manageable puzzle, making it easier to figure out a way forward. Picture this. When a tough moment hits, you can take a breather, step back, and sift through your emotions without getting bogged down in negativity, leading you to inventive solutions that sparkle. Want to amp up that mindful magic? Give things like meditation or some good old deep breathing a shot. These little pockets of calm can help you see what's really going on around and inside you, guiding you to make choices that feel just right. Next up is building skills. This is where your toolkit for turning challenges into chances gets even bigger. Learning new skills is like giving your toolbox a fantastic upgrade. Not only do they offer real ways to tackle specific challenges, but they also give your confidence a boost and expand your horizons. Just think about it. Picking up a new language could blast open the doors to international job opportunities. And if you learn some tech skills, you could become the go-to person everyone relies on in our fast-paced world. To make building skills work for you, it's a smart move to set specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound goals. Let's call them SMART goals. They act like your trusty roadmap, guiding you through those times when you need to step on the gas. Looking for a fun way to keep your goals front and center? Grab some magazines and get crafty with a vision board. It's like a collage that displays your dreams and goals with pictures, words, and phrases. Stick it up somewhere you'll spot it every day, and voila! You've got a constant reminder of where you're headed, giving your focus and motivation a serious boost. Plus, taking time to reflect while creating this board can help you figure out what truly matters to you, ensuring your efforts line up with both your personal and professional dreams. Finding balance in life's ups and downs. When life throws you a curveball, mindfulness techniques can become your best mate. Picture taking a deep breath and feeling your chest rise and fall. This simple act of mindful breathing can really ground you in the moment. Techniques like body scans or mindful walking are like friendly anchors, helping to ease anxiety and clear away the mental fog that can cloud our thinking. They feel like a refreshing breeze on a hot day, bringing calm and clarity, making it easier to tackle whatever life throws your way. And let's be honest, handling those life changes isn't just about what's going on inside our heads. It's about looking at the whole picture. Think of your physical health as your sturdy foundation. Staying active, eating well, and getting enough sleep are the building blocks for good mental and emotional health. When you move your body, it's like releasing little bursts of joy. Those endorphins lift your spirits. Eating right and sleeping enough? They're the superheroes that prepare your body to face stress and bounce back afterward, helping you build a solid base for being resilient and adaptable. But remember, it's not just about what you do on your own. Connecting with others is super important when it comes to navigating those bumps in life. Just like having a trusty crew of friends to share your victories with, a support network can step in to guide and encourage you when things get a bit rough. Leaning on family, mentors, or even professionals can really help lighten that heavy weight of feeling alone. It's like having your very own cheerleading squad ready to rally you when the going gets tough, giving you that extra boost to tackle challenges with fresh confidence. Speaking of connections, whether you're having a cozy chat over coffee or diving into an online community, getting involved with supportive groups can give you that lovely feeling of belonging. Picture it like gathering around a campfire, swapping stories and experiences, sparking that shared sense of purpose and motivation. Now, let's dive into how shifting your perspective can really change the game. Instead of viewing obstacles as massive brick walls, think of them as stepping stones, opportunities for growth. Imagine losing a job. It might seem like a big blow, but it could also be a chance to find a role that truly lights you up or helps you learn something new. Embracing this growth mindset is all about turning setbacks into springboards for success. And hey, don't overlook the magic of positive thinking. It's all about shining a light on your strengths, celebrating your progress, and keeping your eyes fixed, hopefully on what's coming up next. It doesn't mean brushing the tough stuff under the carpet. Instead, it's about putting on those rose-tinted glasses to tackle challenges with a can-do spirit. This upbeat outlook can really help you stay strong during life's up and down moments. Jumping into problems headfirst can really crack open a treasure chest of opportunities that you might miss if you're just sitting back and watching. One fantastic way to lift that positive vibe in your life is through simple habits like keeping a gratitude journal, throwing out positive affirmations, and surrounding yourself with people who give you a boost. Have you ever taken a moment to think about your daily experiences? It's like holding up a personal mirror that reflects not just what's been tough, but also what you've learned from those little bumps in the road. Writing down your challenges, those light bulb moments, and even your wins can really show you how far you've come and where you might want to head next. This kind of reflection isn't just about looking back for a sense of nostalgia. It's about gathering treasure troves of wisdom. You start piecing together what worked, what didn't, and the reasons behind it all. It's just like gathering ingredients for your favorite dish. You've got to know the right blend to whip up something delicious. When you take a moment to check in with yourself, it's like tuning into your own unique radio station, getting a better grasp on how you tick and respond in different situations. This creates a path for ongoing growth. And let's not forget about change. Embracing it and rolling with new experiences can be the secret sauce for your progress. Picture life as this huge buffet. Sometimes the yummiest options are the ones we've yet to sample. Stepping out of your comfy zone and jumping into new escapades can reveal hidden passions and skills. By keeping your heart and mind wide open, you become like a nimble gymnast, ready to bend and twist through life's ups and downs. Next up, we've explored how tapping into our knowledge can really help us navigate those big life changes. Being open to fresh adventures, building good daily habits, and creating a solid support crew can turn challenging moments into golden chances. Sprinkle in some emotional smarts, self-awareness, and a dash of mindfulness, and you've got yourself a reliable toolkit to stay strong during transitions. They keep you grounded while also sparking personal growth and igniting creativity. Plus, don't skip out on looking after your body. Eating well, staying active, and catching enough Z's lays down a solid base for your mental and emotional well-being. When you feel good physically, it's like having a rock-solid foundation for your home. You'll find it way easier to stay balanced and tackle whatever life throws your way. Turning setbacks into stepping stones is where the real magic takes place, and setting realistic goals keeps that motivation buzzing. All these little tips and tricks equip you with the know-how to not just get by, but truly shine, especially in tough times. Now let's talk about making your dreams come to life. Thinking about turning your dreams into reality? It's an exciting journey that kicks off with understanding just how important it is to set clear intentions. When you sync your goals with what your heart genuinely desires, amazing changes can happen. The power of intentions. Let's dive into intentions and how they can help make our dreams a reality. Think of intention as a magical compass that helps guide you through life. It lights the way to what you really want and why it matters to you. When you set a clear intention, you're basically bringing together both your conscious and subconscious minds. It's like having your thoughts and feelings jamming together in perfect harmony, creating some truly beautiful music. So, why does this matter? Well, think of it like standing at the shore of a huge ocean of possibilities. If you don't have a clear destination, you're just going to float around aimlessly on the waves. But when you know what you want, like a boat steering its way to a lighthouse, you can focus your energy and resources on that goal. Intentions aren't just fluffy dreams, they're solid building blocks for turning your aspirations into reality. Now, let's explore some fun ways to set and strengthen your intentions. One great idea is to write them down. It's a bit like planting a seed in rich soil. Writing makes your commitment feel real and gives you a daily nudge about what you're aiming for. Just imagine waking up, taking a quick peek at your written intentions, and suddenly feeling that spark of motivation firing you up. How awesome is that? Another tip is to spill the beans about your intentions to your close mates. Think of them as your personal cheer squad, helping you stay on track and inspired. Plus, when you picture your intentions as if they've already happened, it's like waving a little magic wand that brings those dreams closer to you. Visualize yourself crossing that finish line, celebrating your success. It cranks up the energy around your goals. Don't forget that your emotions play a massive role in this whole thing. Your feelings can lift you up like balloons in the sky or drag you down like a stubborn backpack. Good vibes really boost your intentions, so soak up that joy and excitement. Grab that energy and watch it propel you forward. And let's not overlook that actions are what really get your ship sailing. It's super important to make sure your actions line up with your intentions. Think of it like taking one step after another on a hiking trail. Every single step matters. And don't stress, you don't have to rush. Taking those small, steady steps can lead to some pretty impressive changes over time. Throughout this journey, mixing up different strategies, like psychological tricks, practical tips, or shifts in your energy, can create a powerful combo for turning your vision into reality. Picture a toolbox filled with all sorts of handy tools. Each one has its own unique purpose. By mixing these different approaches, you can keep your growth steady and your progress on fire. So keep your goals in sight and make sure your actions line up with them. And soon enough, you'll see your dreams shift from far-off hopes to beautiful real achievements. It's like steering your ship through the waters of life, making sure you've got a firm grip on that compass of intention. Happy manifesting, building a brighter mindset. Let's have a chat about how to whip up a positive mindset that actually helps us grab hold of our dreams. Just wishing for something isn't going to cut it. We need to actually put in the effort to line up with those wishes. A fab way to do this is by breaking those big dreams into smaller, manageable steps. For instance, if getting healthier is on your radar, why not kick things off by drinking more water or taking those lovely little strolls around your neighborhood? Keep an eye on how you're doing, and don't be afraid to switch things up as you go along. Consistency is like giving a plant a good drink of water. It helps it grow. Sticking to your daily routines while keeping your larger goals in view is your roadmap, like following a treasure map to a hidden bounty. Now, let's dive into a little secret ingredient in this mix: emotional energy. It's super important. Picture your emotions like the fuel in your car. When you're filled with joy, gratitude, or excitement, it's like cruising on a sunny day. But when fear or doubt jumps into the driver's seat, it's like hitting a pothole. You might slow down or lose your way. Building up your emotional resilience is a must. So even when the road gets a bit bumpy, you're still steering in the right direction. Doing things that make you grin, like painting, hiking, or even dancing like no one's watching in your living room, can crank up that positive energy and give your intentions a real boost. And here's where it gets super fun. Shake it up. Mixing different techniques, whether they're all about the mind, practical stuff, or energetic vibes, can create some real magic. Think of it like blending a delicious smoothie. By combining your various strengths, you whip up a tasty success potion. When you're setting goals, it's helpful to take a rounded approach. It's easy to just chase that finish line without thinking about what's going to help you get there. A holistic view means looking at the mental, practical, and energetic sides of reaching your goals, working together like a team of superheroes on a mission. Sure, it's great to set goals that are realistic and doable, but it's just as important to dig a bit deeper. Take a moment to think about what really drives that desire. What's the story that's got you fired up? Positive psychology encourages us to tap into our inner strengths, like creativity and resilience. Imagine yourself as a treasure chest, overflowing with gems that can help you navigate life's crazy adventures. So, embrace the journey, take it step by step, and before you know it, you'll be well on your way to creating the life you dream of. Finding balance for success. Staying motivated while juggling life's roller coaster can feel like trying to keep a dozen spinning plates in the air. But here's the secret sauce. By paying attention to both our mental and emotional well-being, plus mixing in some practical moves, we can whip up a much better recipe for success. Just like in cooking, where blending different ingredients creates a tasty dish, combining various strategies can lead to fantastic results in our lives. Take mindfulness, for example. It's like putting on a pair of glasses that help you see your thoughts and feelings in a whole new light. When you mix mindfulness with a trusty to-do list, it's much easier to stay focused and tackle your tasks without breaking a sweat. Just imagine sitting down to meditate for a few minutes before diving into your work. It clears away the mental fog and sets you up for a productive day. It's like having the calm before the storm of productivity. Now, let's toss in some positive affirmations along with those practical steps. Picture yourself looking in the mirror and saying, "I've got this." It's like giving yourself a high five each morning, boosting your confidence and keeping you pumped for the day ahead. When our thoughts and actions team up like best mates, we can achieve so much more. Another clever move is to spot those little patterns and feedback loops along your journey. Think of it as your personal map. The more you pay attention to where you're going and how you got there, the better you can change your course if needed. If one approach is doing wonders, like planting seeds in good soil, keep watering it. But if something is flopping like a pancake, it's time to switch things up and explore new paths. This whole learning and adapting process is your secret recipe for growth. And let's not overlook the power of outcome visualization. Imagine your goal is to run a marathon. What if you could picture yourself crossing that finish line in your mind, heart racing and tears of joy streaming down your face? That creative spark can really light up your path and give you loads of motivation. But let's be real. Just dreaming about your goals won't do the trick. You need a solid game plan to turn those dreams into reality. When you mix that mental imagery with some good old-fashioned hard work, you create an exciting map to success. Bringing together different techniques can really amp up your effectiveness. It's like splattering a canvas with all sorts of colors. Every brushstroke adds something special and lively to the final piece. Positive affirmations and mental hacks can give you that extra oomph, helping you bounce towards your goals with energy. So let's mix it up. Life is like an all-you-can-eat buffet of strategies. So take a plate and pile it high with what suits you best, crafting your personal work of art in achievement. Building a resilient mindset. A friendly guide. Okay, let's dive into how to give your mindset a little turbo boost. Think of it as constructing a solid house that can weather any storm. At the core of this whole thing are practical strategies, like managing your time and setting goals, that serve as the sturdy foundation. Once you've got these tools ready, jumping into action becomes a whole lot easier. Now sprinkle in some fun techniques like meditation and visualization. They're like the bright paint that brings your house to life. By mixing these pieces together, you create an awesome toolkit that covers all aspects of personal growth and success. Imagine this, you're crafting a jigsaw puzzle. Each piece needs to click into place to complete the picture. This means understanding how different strategies can mesh together is really important. For example, practicing gratitude is like slipping on a pair of rosy glasses, helping you spot the good bits in your life, while clear, measurable goals act as your map. When you blend these tools, it's like whipping up a tasty smoothie. Both the flavor and the goodness work together perfectly. But remember, life isn't a one-size-fits-all type of gig. Trying out different combinations is the name of the game. It's like being a chef in your kitchen, experimenting with new ingredients to create something that's totally your own. Trust your instincts as you shape your approach to match your likes and needs. And here's where it gets really interesting. Keep an eye on the patterns in your journey. Just like keeping tabs on the weather helps you plan your day, regularly checking in on your progress gives you clues about what's working and what might need a little fine-tuning. Keeping a journal is such a fab way to capture your experiences and spot trends popping up in your life. It's like having a handy map to guide you through your journey of growth. Every time you take a moment to reflect, it's like hitting a new level in your favorite video game. Each little step forward is built on all your past victories, creating a lively path towards your dreams. Now, let's jump into outcome visualization. This is a real gem of a trick. It's like drawing up a blueprint in your mind, vividly imagining the success you're aiming for. This mental exercise not only fuels your motivation, but also readies your mind to take action. Picture this. You want to write a book. You shut your eyes and see yourself with that shiny new copy, feeling the cover in your hands while planning out your pages and setting deadlines. This blend of visualizing your goal and taking actual steps is the magic mix that powers your journey. Ultimately, embracing a broader view of goal setting means recognizing how everything in life is connected. Just like a thriving garden where every plant supports each other, we should nurture our dreams and watch them bloom together. Success isn't just about ticking off achievements or collecting trophies. It's also about finding that lovely balance within ourselves, like a perfectly brewed cup of tea, warm, comforting, and just right. To get this balance right, we can mix some psychological tricks, practical skills, and a dash of energetic techniques into our recipe for personal growth. Think of it as a beautiful teamwork effort that helps us bounce back, adapt, and keep moving forward. Now, creating that harmony among various strategies is like being a maestro leading a breathtaking orchestra. Just like a conductor unites strings, brass, and percussion for an amazing tune, we can mix different methods to really feel the beat of progress. But here's the fun part. It's all about tuning into what works for us, trying out new ideas, and being open to change as we go. Think of it like dancing. Sometimes you lead, sometimes you follow, but the key is to keep moving. By being open to adjusting our approach, we can really hone our style and unlock our full potential. When we keep an eye on what's happening around us, we start spotting patterns, kind of like how a chef learns which ingredients make the best flavors pop. Every experience, whether it's a win or a flop, gives us some fab feedback that points us on our journey. Taking a moment to think about these lessons keeps our game plan fresh and makes sure we're always striding towards the place we want to reach. Now, let's dive into the magic of visualization. Imagine this. You're off on a road trip, and in your mind, you can already see that stunning destination waiting for you. When we take the time to really picture our end goal and break it down into small, doable steps, we're not just daydreaming. We're actually laying down a bright path to success. It's like turning those daydreams into a handy map that guides us straight to the good stuff. Setting clear intentions is just like planting seeds in a garden. We've got to give them some TLC to watch them flourish. By deciding what we want to manifest and getting both our conscious and subconscious minds involved, we start to harmonize our energy with our ambitions. Jotting down these intentions, chatting about them with a friend who can cheer us on, and visualizing our triumph creates a rock-solid base for making things happen. Taking small but steady actions that line up with our intentions keeps the momentum going and our spirits soaring. And let's throw in some good vibes along the way. Nurturing a happy and grateful mindset isn't just about being positive. It attracts all the good stuff and helps us glide past any bumps in the road. Building on all this, we've learned that shaking up our strategies can lead to amazing success. A well-rounded approach to going after our goals mixes up psychological tricks, practical skills, and good energy. It's like whipping up a hearty stew that feeds our entire spirit. making sure our journey through personal growth is more of a marathon than a sprint. Mixing different methods can really turbocharge your progress and help you bloom. Think of it like a chef blending spices. Each one adds its own special flavor. When you visualize what you want and take real steps towards it, it sparks a fire of motivation and clarity. This all-inclusive approach gets that everything in life is interlinked, creating this lovely balance that builds your resilience. When you mix intention with clever strategies, you create a strong map that leads to success and personal growth. As we come to the end, let's take a moment to reflect on this incredible journey we've shared. We've stripped away those old-school beliefs and uncovered some real treasures that empower you to take charge of your life. Just imagine diving into a lively world where your potential knows no bounds. On our journey towards self-betterment and self-discovery, we've jumped into the deep end of psychology know-how, goal-setting magic, and some pretty quirky tricks to snag those dreams of yours. From the get-go, we tossed aside those dusty ideas and aimed to give you fresh perspectives that really pack a punch. Together, we've realized that mastering your thoughts is that first giant step toward real transformation. Your thoughts are like splashes of paint on the canvas of your life, shaping your reality. And this eye-opening insight can break down those annoying mental barriers that society tries to impose on us. By tapping into the incredible power of your mind, you've discovered a newfound sense of control and a world of endless possibilities. As we continued our adventure, it became super clear. Setting exciting goals is like creating a masterpiece. Forget those old methods that put you in a box. By thinking outside the box and experimenting with some fun new ideas, you can redefine what success looks like for you. Whether it's going after your passions, celebrating the little victories, or dreaming up your perfect future, these techniques can really steer you in a fantastic direction, both in your career and personal life. A big part of our adventure has been about breaking free from the chains of society's expectations. We dove into how limiting beliefs can slow us down and uncovered ways to smash through them. By questioning the usual and daring to think outside the box, you've set yourself up to thrive in ways you might never have thought possible. Remember, this change isn't just a slight adjustment, it's a major transformation. But don't forget, real growth takes time. Each day is like a fresh canvas for you to apply your new lessons and keep growing. As you take those steps forward, keep that spark alive. Every day is a new adventure. Embrace the idea that every day is a new opportunity for growth. Think of personal development as an endless adventure, not just some finish line you're hoping to reach someday. Picture waking up each morning, feeling like a superhero ready to take on whatever life throws at you, equipped with the tools that make challenges feel less like mountains and more like tiny hills. The ideas we've explored aren't just passing trends. They're timeless tips that, when practiced regularly, can bring about genuine and lasting change. Sticking with your self-improvement journey keeps you flexible, strong, and ready to tackle life's twists and turns. But here's a fun thought. Your journey isn't just about you. The changes you make send ripples out to those around you. As you uncover new strengths and insights, think of your knowledge as a hidden treasure. When you share it, it becomes even more valuable. Imagine this. When you pass on what you've learned, you're lighting little fires of change in your friends and family. This kind of encouragement can help them look past their current troubles, making them feel empowered too. Plus, it helps you make sense of those powerful ideas even better. Think about that warm, fuzzy feeling when someone tells you how your advice helped them see things in a new light or tackle a tough challenge. That moment isn't just a nice gesture. It shows how sharing knowledge can multiply its power. When we lift each other up, we not only beef up our own understanding of these concepts, but also unlock new potential in everyone around us. Now, take a moment to think about the toolkit you've gathered on your journey, from positive thinking and visualization to setting fun and engaging goals. Every piece is super important for your transformation. It's time to mix these practices into your daily life, like adding a catchy rhythm to your favorite song. Don't forget, small, consistent actions can lead to massive changes over time. Remember, personal development is more like a marathon and less like a sprint. It takes dedication, patience, and a bit of persistence. So as you move forward, keep your heart open and your mind curious. Every step you take today sets the stage for tomorrow's victories. The journey you're on is really just kicking off. Keep that spark of curiosity burning and let your inner skeptic lead the way. Keep asking questions and digging deep for the truths that ignite your passion. Think of it like being an adventurous explorer, sailing into the uncharted waters of your own potential. As you sail ahead, remember that true empowerment comes from the treasure chest within you, but it really shines when shared with others. Your story, packed with ups and downs, can be a powerful inspiration for those around you. So don't hold back. Share your experiences. They might just light a spark in someone else. And hey, keep your mind open to the knowledge they've picked up along their journeys. It's a two-way street, folks. Together, we can create a world where people aren't tied down by outdated thoughts, but can go after their wildest dreams. Imagine it, a lively mosaic of lives filled with purpose, overflowing with meaning and joy. Every part of your life is like splashing another bright color onto this fantastic story of growth. By really embracing the ideas and tips from this book, you're not just flipping through the pages, you're stepping onto an exciting path of exploration and change. So go ahead, dive into your future with confidence. Remember, you're the one holding the pen, designing your own future. Let your journey shine bright, being a source of hope and strength for others, and illuminating all the amazing possibilities that are just waiting around the corner.